Hello and welcome back to the Dennis Herrera Show. This is the second half of the fun. I'll try to be a little bit nicer in the evening. So many people were complaining about my anger earlier today. They confuse anger and passion. They don't know what the difference is. Just like they misunderstand kindness or compassion or what's another word? I guess kindness for weakness. Welcome back, Robert. Cray Miss. Did the psychiatrist say everything was okay? Yeah, no, he said I need to calm down because my cholesterol is too high. So we need to be nicer, apparently. Brian, how are you, big bro? Good to see you both in here. I sent you guys a little bit of the beautiful, nice comments. Well, today we're going to read some of those beautiful comments. Let me go ahead and reset the stream bus of the chat. Hope you guys' day went just a dandy. Thank you for being here with me, guys. We are about to get started. Tanya, big sis in the house. Is that guy still hitting on you, Tanya? You've been communicating with the Casanova, trying to recruit Tanya to be part of another gang. I couldn't think of anything else to tell you. Welcome back. We are, check this out, guys. I'm sure you guys already seen this, but I thought it was so funny. And, maybe I should take a clip of this, to be honest. I should take a clip of this. And I'm going to... This is be good. Give me a second, guys. Let me clip this. Hold on. Let me go ahead and clip this. Right here. Yeah, let me have some fun here before we get started. Let me get some fun before we get started. I'm so glad that I used to do photography. And I've done, radio, and I've done videos, for weddings, events, etc. And never been really very, very good with the audio, so that's why the audio guy is almost fired here in the Dennis Herrera Show. But, I do what I can, with what I got. And, so sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not. But let me go ahead and fix up this clip real quick. Make it look good. Let's see if the face is not too bad. Yeah, that's good enough. All right. You don't know what I'm doing, but don't worry. I will show you. I have to do it. All right. I have to do it. As a matter of fact, I was gonna read the story from CNN, but I think this is a lot funner. You guys ready? Here we go. This is the finished product. That is my computer background, the wallpaper on my computer now. Ah, man, just a little fun for us American patriots. American patriots in the house. Let me get this camera a little bit more zoomed in right there. That should be okay, I think. Maybe more to the left. No, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the right. Thank you, camera guy. Appreciate you. Man, always looking out for me. Always looking out for me. I brought my cameras a little bit closer to the front, but it's just I am not satisfied with this background. I'm not satisfied with the background. Let's see. You guys don't know how much fun I have with my things. There you go. That's the full screen right there on there. All right, let's see. Hopefully, my face is not too big there for you guys. I am not the focus or the emphasis of this live, but there you go, guys. This was posted today on the CNN newsletter, and I'm gonna tell you, when you play the video about it, he does not look that happy because 100% of the MAGA gut view of Trump, 100% approval. What you think about that? What do you guys think about that? Brian, Robert, Tony, and Craig. Thanks, Robert. Okay, Possum, Cat, it's in the house. Kevin, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know people are going to be like, oh, man, can you play the video? What did he say? What did he say? Well, I will tell you. I will tell you that. Let me mute this real quick. I will tell you that when he said it, he almost couldn't get that. As a matter of fact, he didn't get a smile out. He didn't get the smile out. Let's see. George Jones' road to his house was called Possum Trot. All right, guys. I think we got all the important people in here. And, well, you know what? Why don't we take a look at some of the beautiful comments that people leave on my videos? Because I want you to understand, right? If you are new to my channel here, I want you to understand why I am the way that I am in my channel sometimes with the people that come in. Now, if you've been me here for a while, you will already know this information. But here we go. Hey, Jason, how are you? Welcome back. Good evening. We still have a few cats. You know, just so you guys know, I put a comment on Mindspeak, because Mindspeak put a comment there that was very, you know, I didn't really like the comment. And, you know, one of the reasons why I get defensive when people call me a liar is because I'm not. It's because I'm not a liar. And that does bug me, okay? But, you know, it's like I try to, you know, to help or be as honest as I can. And then just sometimes it just doesn't, you know, people don't appreciate it. But, hey, Mr. Juan, how are you? All right, so let me go ahead and read the first comment here. You guys may have heard of that lucky one. The guy's name is that lucky one. That is the username. So you guys know that I say "shut the hell up" in my show is just a, you know, trolling line, right? And he says, "Shut the hell up, you crazy vato." And you know, I wish that was as bad as it got. Yeah, he's gotten really bad with it. He's been really bad with it. And after a point, I don't appreciate it. So let me see if I can find a good comment here for somebody. Oh, Hammer, you're lucky I haven't seen a comment from you yet on my videos. Filt is a bot because I am not saying anything about anything right now. I'm not saying anything about Trump. I'm not saying nothing about Republicans. And that's a troll. That's a bot right there. That is a bot right there. All right. So the next comment comes. Let me see. Check this out. This one comes from Steve Lucero. Steve Lucero. And he says, what is that stain on his upper lip? Is he been kissing Trump's ass too long? Wipe it off, son. All right, let's see. Yeah, ignore that guy. All right, let's read this one. Fakumara. Fakumara. Fakamara. Fakamara 1632 says, taxes are needed to pay for the Trump war in Iran. And then he replies to himself, and then he says, in order to pay for Republican wars. You can't make this up. X-Man, how are you, my man? Welcome, welcome. The free thinker, here we go. Play Trump dancing. Not yet, not yet, not yet. Hammer says, human rights. I don't know why you're commenting right now. Wait until we get to something that you guys can comment on. Here we go. Paul Lopez. Paul Lopez says, do you love Donald Trump? You need to kiss Donald Trump. Okay. Thank you. I don't know. These are comments that people leave. On my videos. Raj welcome back. Good to see you, sis. Good to see you. I was gonna play the dinner that Trump had with the Japan Prime Minister, but I can only take so much of BS, and I think what I saw from Japan today, the only interesting thing that I have heard all day about this Prime Minister of Japan was the comment from President Trump talking about the Japanese know how to surprise people. Leave it to the Japanese to surprise you. Remember Pearl Harbor? Man, she didn't like that much. She didn't like that comment that one bit. Did not like that comment one bit. Kettle says, are you sending your kids to Iran? Then you're okay with the war. Listen, don't be man. Okay, I'm going to try to be nice, and I'm going to try. I don't know how long I can hold this insults from coming out of my mouth, but I'm going to tell you something. If I have to go do something myself to try to convince you, you are not worth talking to. Let me tell you why. I am a migrant, and when I talk about illegal immigration, you don't accept my opinion, even though I'm a migrant. Not illegal, maybe that's what the problem is. But the fact remains that I believe in respecting immigration law. I believe if my kids went to war, it'll be an honor for me. Absolute honor. And if they call on us to go to war, it will be an honor to me. And I will be in the front lines. And if we are the first ones to get hit with the first bomb, hey, that's God's will. That's the difference when you believe in God. This is what these religious terrorists are the most afraid of people that believe in the one true God. You can't scare us with that BS. I'll tell you what, if we get an invasion in our country, then we'll talk. And then you can show me how courageous you are defending the inland. All right? I'm just saying, don't make dumb questions like that. All right. Let's see. Ted says, face of MAGA, Laura Putrid Loomer. I don't know who that is. Why isn't the internet available in Iran yet? There are 91 million people in Iran. Let's see and hear from them. Absolutely, Cray. That is a great point. And I mentioned this earlier today that, if Iran was, of course, we're talking about the regime. If Iran was so innocent, right, that President Trump is wrong and Israel is wrong and all these bad things are happening, I want to know why. Why is Iran doing what President Xi does? See, that's a playbook from the Communist Party. This is what they do. They stop technology. They stop internet access because then people know exactly what is happening in Iran. And I just don't understand those people that are still saying, "Oh, Iran is such a strong regime. All the soldiers." I'll tell you what. I try not to laugh, and I will try not to be mean. But there was a lady. There was a lady visiting Cuba. I think she was just visiting, and she's going around interviewing people. And what a shame. Listen, ignorance is bliss, right? Ignorance is bliss. So they ask a question to this one guy just chilling in the park, and I guess he's a military guy. And they're asking us like, "Are you afraid that what's happening in Iran is going to happen here in Cuba?" And he's like, "No, not afraid. We're ready. I will die defending my country. I am a military, and I'm ready to fight." I was trying not to laugh. I was trying not to laugh. But you know, the worst thing is that she goes around asking other Cubans, and the people's like, the United States just lies. They just want to take over everything. But you know what? We're ready. We're ready for war. I'm like, lady, why don't you just continue doing your jogging and just keep your mouth shut? You don't know what the hell is going on. And the thing is, like, you guys have no power. Don't blame the U.S. Blame your government. You should be self-sustained. You shouldn't have to depend on communists who control your people, who take away your businesses, who take away your prosperity, to take away your livelihoods. How can you defend that? How can you not say, yeah, we're waiting for the United States to do something? And it's all about fear. I understand that people have fear, and yeah, I give them the benefit of that on that. Let's see. I will have my line open so we can go ahead and take some phone calls in here. We can talk about it. Let's see. Let's see if we can get another. Let's see if we can get another comment in here. All right. Now, these comments that I'm reading, these are automatically blocked by YouTube. Okay, so you may not have seen these comments. Kevin comments with a K, says this guy complains about taxes, but supports a president who gives the biggest tax breaks to the richest people. Okay, thank you for the confirmation. The levels of ignorance. You can't make this shit up. P.S. Dennis is Trump's queen. He paints his Snickers bars orange and eats them upside down so he can feel the orange veins on his These are the comments that I get from people. All right. Let's see. We're gonna disgusting. I'm blocking from my channel. Let's see. Send Baron Trump to fight for Israel, says the Chicago kid. Now, the Chicago kid, I don't know if he's a kid. That is one nasty mofo, and he's coming to my channel trying to be very, very rude and disgusting. And I'm talking about like pervertedly disgusting. So I have no respect for that guy. He doesn't need to come into my channel, so his comment is gone. Let's see, Philip Flitzberger. The only thing being overtaxed is your tiny pea-sized brain. This is a guy that believes on getting taxed up the yin-yang. Unbelievable. Now, just so you know, these are 10 days old. I don't reply to every single comment. I never come in here and take a look at comments that are being held. All right. Even Lisa got blocked apparently by YouTube. Never. And Democrats are traitors against the American people. They need to go sit down at home as they lose their jobs. That's what YouTube blocked. Potentially inappropriate. Bing. Check. Democrats like to hold people accountable to not look at the accountability they are refusing to acknowledge. Now they're pointing one finger at Christie, and okay, but what about the other four fingers pointing at these demon KKK rats? Judges, fake lawmakers. Oh, one lawmaker is stepping down from politics because her convictions align with Jesus and she knew she was serving two masters. She chose Jesus. All right, that comment is okay. Oh, here's one of our most, well, I don't know how famous he is on my channel here, but here is a hater that sometimes confuses me, and I think that maybe there is some validity to having him around. His name is Manuel Correa, and he says, leading the USA straight to hell, all for Bibi's Greater Israel plan. You can't make this up, man. These people are brainwashed. Brainwashed, I'm telling you. All right, let me see if I can get some new comments here, because I know some people left some new comments. I don't know what the hell Wedo is leaving me a link to watch videos, but we're not doing that. Here's a comment. Here's a comment from Swiss Michael 78. My man, how are you, man? I see you. Demo, please don't let this turn into another Iraq or Afghanistan. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that we're going to completely 100% dominate all the way through. Just hang in there. We gotta put up with little birth pains, but I really believe that something good is coming our way. I said it last year. This year is going to be a very good year for America. Remember, you heard it here in the Dennis Herrera Show today, Thursday, at 6:08 Pacific time. All right, Swiss Michael says, the truth is also what you should hold up in your stream, especially if you talk about immigration and voting. Now, this guy is in Swiss, right? He's in Suiza. Is that Switzerland? I'm assuming that's the only Switzerland, right? So this guy is on the other side of the hemisphere, telling me that we don't have illegal immigrants voting in our elections. Hey, Larry. Hey, Tony. He believes but knows nothing. All right, Tony, I hope that you're not talking about me. Let's see. And then he goes on to say, look it up, Dennis, like 20 illegals. No big deal. Like 20 illegals voted in the past 25 years, he says. And they found them because the system is safe. Right. Let's see. And then he also replies to his comment for some reason. I don't know these people. He replies to his comment and says, you speak about Trump admin because yes. What? Yeah, BC, yes, then we agree, and I don't say there's no cheating, but it's irrelevant. So it's not that they're not cheating, it's just that cheating is irrelevant. I mean, the big elections, all 4 years. Okay. Immigration is not the big problem they say it is. That's just a distraction from the real problems, like the cover-up for the Epstein files, of course. Even this war is a distraction from the Epstein files in some way. You can't make this up. This is what these people believe. I also want to say, thank you for answering my question, and say sorry to my trolling on your lives. What? It's too much sometimes, but hey, at least we talk now. And maybe it's not wrong to have someone who is outside of all of this and has another view on things because I'm not in your country. Irrelevant right there. But we have one thing in comment, not in common, in comment, that I think you let me follow you. I also fell in love with you. Oh, I also fell in love with the USA as a young kid, but unlike you, I didn't make it over there because that's true about you. You're a true patriot. Oh, much more than these Nazis that say they are. You live the American dream. So I hope we can talk to each other. I don't know what that says. Without you calling me a libtard. Again, and I promise to behave on your lives. Laugh out loud. Low from Swiss to Washington State. That's West Side, right? Peace out. Swiss. You know what's crazy is somebody. This I already banned him and I reported him, but one of the comments that this guy, his name is YouTube Compliance. One of the comments that he made about me, and I thought it was funny, was he says, "You starting to sound trigger." I'm like, I want to know how my letters have a sound. If you're putting a comment live, I get it, but live comments don't go here. Okay, so there's that. Oh my goodness, let me see. Oh, I'm so tired. But let me see if I got any fresh new comments here. Let me see. Some people actually removed their comments. Let's see if I can see them here. It looks like they're gone. It looks that they're finally taken down, I think. Yeah. I think they're finally taken down from by YouTube, by the way. All right, here we go. So earlier we talked about, man, it's hot in here today. Now, earlier we talked about, the war in Iran. And I allow people to call in. I like to be able to have this little interaction. And I allow people to call in and just kind of give me your opinion. If you have a question, I will ask that you will let me answer the question until I'm done talking. I don't have time limit for myself. I do have time limits for you, but if you know how to talk to me, you can stay on the line with me a little bit longer, okay? Tony says he reported him. What a snitch. Yeah, well, hey, welcome to the Dennis Herrera Show, you prick. You either just leave on your own or I will silence you on my chat. But I will go ahead and open up the lines. I know 10 people left, so that's okay. Maybe he's one of them. We'll open up the phone line so that you can call me. If I am on the phone with somebody, obviously I won't pick up, so just be patient, okay? In the meantime, I will go ahead and play my goofy AI dancing with President Trump. And thank you so much for your support. Cutting Edge, of course, always showing up. Thank you for the 20, bruh. It's irrelevant for if a country were to interfere in the elections, as if with Maduro, Venezuela, and the Dominion machines. That is precisely when Tulsi would step in under the DNI, as she is authorized to act alongside the FBI. And I really hope that that's how it goes. Let's see. I haven't drank Mountain Dew since I worked for Pepsi. Oh my gosh. Why? Why is that? What did you find out? Rush? Let's see. Mark. Mr. Archer. Dude, listen. This is just me. Truth Social sucks. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I used it. It sucks. That's just me, though. That's just me. I think Truth Social is a piece of junk. Sorry, President Trump. Yeah, Robert, he does, man. Cutting Edge does show off, but that's because he knows how to make that money. Unlike a bunch of libtards that only have EBT available to them. Yeah, by the way, if you haven't learned yet, you got to learn someday, okay? When I say libtards and you jump, if I say libtards jump and you jump, you're just telling on yourself, all right? Let me go ahead and give you thanks to all the members and the people that support me on this channel. All right, that's enough. I know how much you enjoy it, but that's enough. That's enough out of that. No ponytail is not today. No ponytail. That's probably why I'm so. That's why I'm so hot. Because my hair is down. But oh man, you missed it, Bernie. I had the gear on today. I had the gear, but that was earlier. Now the gear is changed back to Make America Great. My favorite white hat. By the way, I'm gonna have 2 white hats coming in. Couple of lines that I've used, and I will wear this on my campaign. I am about a month and a half away. I need to raise $5,000. So I will eventually put in here a goal of how many supers we need in there. And we're going to raise $5,000, some to make up for the channel, and then also to make up for the fee. Now, I don't want you to look at it as a donation towards a campaign. I want you to look at it as a supporting to this channel. I have not found any information yet, but I might have to stop this channel. All right. And I don't know. Bernie, can you figure out if I do have to cancel this channel, or what would be the rules if I was to run for government? I'm trying to look at the do's and don'ts, can and can'ts of that. All right. With that being said, that's a side conversation. Let's go ahead and read, because somebody said my background is those stats cannot be real. Well, here we go. This is from the New York Post, and they said the CNN data guru reveals that Trump's base is expanding with 100% approval from MAGA Republicans. Published March 18th, 2026. Boom, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Here, let me make it bigger for you guys, and then we can read together. There you go. Just in case you didn't believe me. New York Post. There you go. New York Post. CNN's chief data analyst Harry Enton dismissed the narrative of a MAGA split on Wednesday, with polls showing President Trump is enjoying 100% support from his Republican base. That's crazy. That is crazy. Hey, guys, it could be a typo, okay? But this is the story. Sometimes you look at the polling data and there are numbers that just jump off the screen at you. When he said it out in public, his face just changed. And he did stay enthusiastic. He did play it off well. But nonetheless, his face was in disbelief. Oh man, that was wonderful. I'll tell you that right now. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know you can't go higher than 100%, Anton quipped. Here's the 1972 Miami Dolphins. The data experts marveled, comparing Trump to the only NFL team to ever have a perfect, undefeated season. Oh, man, I love it when people challenge me, man. MAGA Gup view of Trump. Well. Guys, it's the little things. The little things. The polling comes as an unfounded narrative has emerged claiming, "Make America Great Again, Republicans." The president's most ardent supporters are fracturing over the Iran war, the release of the documents related to convicted sex offenders Jeffrey Epstein, and immigration. All right, that's enough. That's enough. President Trump's face after reading 100% MAGA approved. Hey, Tony, does that bother you? Listen, you can't fake tears of joy when you're laughing. Just because you don't like my laugh, it don't mean you got a clown on it. It don't mean you got a hate on it. All right, hold on. Let me read this comment here. Ask Bill Ball. However, none of your opponents for governor will take you up on your offer of equal time. Why? Because they won't have the courage nor talent to improvise like you. I appreciate you, man. That is true. I'm actually very good. I'm actually very good, but there's a reason for that. There's only one reason for that, okay? And the only reason for that is because I believe what I say. And when I believe, I'm going to give you an example of how I am. TM, TM does not like my laugh when there's 100% approval rating amongst MAGA supporters for President Donald J. Trump. Listen, I have never, ever called myself, nor do I believe that I have been ever in my life been a great salesman. Okay? I don't believe in that. Because I feel like if I call myself a salesman, that means that I will sell you anything just because I'm trying to gain your money. I don't believe in that. But anything that I have put myself into doing, for example, back in 2000, I've always been like this, okay? Let's go all the way back to 2096. Yeah, 2096. My second job, I think it was, or third job, I was at Taco Bell. I was very, very good in drive-through. We have just received this new upgrade, a touch screen with 3 levels. I know the whole menu memorized. It's up here. I was so sharp. When I was young, I had a very great memory. And I would take orders. As you're talking, my brain is boom, boom, boom. My fingers are moving. I'm hearing, I'm listening to what you're saying. Minus this, add that, do this, blah, blah, do that. Okay, fantastic. I was so good. And there was only one reason why I always provided great customer service when I worked for Taco Bell. Even today, I still believe Taco Bell is great. I think Taco Bell is better than McDonald's. I'm sorry, I'm going to go against President Trump on this. But I do. I know how the ground beef is made. I know how the beans are made. I know how the chicken, the steak, I know how all the food is all pre-cooked. You boil the water, you throw them in there, there is a timer, blah, blah, blah. But I enjoy the food. It doesn't matter if it's pre-cooked. We don't cook at Taco Bell. I know what the ground beef is made of. I know how I make it at the Taco Bell, etc. I still like the food. I make the best burritos because you have to understand I work graveyard. And we were able to eat in graveyard back then. I don't know now. And so I used to invent my own burritos, and sometimes I will make it with chicken, sometimes with steak, sometimes beef, and sometimes just like a bean burrito and some sauce and, pico de gallo, et cetera, et cetera. So we used to invent our own foods for lunch. But I'm going to tell you that whenever I came to, to customer service, I was very good, but only because I believed in the company that I worked for. Moving ahead, when I worked for Comcast, I started off with AT&T Broadband. AT&T Broadband had just taken over Viacom Cable. And this is where they had the old analog boxes, where they scramble, video on demand, pay-per-views, Playboy, all this other stuff, right? And so that's when I started working with them. And what was cool about AT&T Broadband was that they gave us free. They gave us like 150 free shares of AT&T Broadband, and AT&T Broadband picked up within a year. They introduced digital cable. Now, I made about $9,500 of this stock. Okay, it's not that much, but $9,500. And back in 2000, that was some good money. Let me tell you right now. Back in 2000, it was some good money. Okay, and then I'm in the technical support department, and then I added billing to my queue. Of course, I'm Hispanic. I speak fluent Spanish, so I added bilingual to my queue. Then they came up with an upgrade. So not only do we have digital cable now we're providing high-speed data. Woo! We went all the way up to 1.5 megabytes downloads per second. I took that into my queue. And then we had to do upgrades. And then we had to do sales. Well, not to brag, but I was top 5 in a call center of 300 agents. Top 5. I was number 1 in sales. I'm not a sales guy. I'm not a sales guy. And I took care of every single customer the very first time. They upgraded me to the escalations department, where I take phone calls for supervisors. Yes, I got to identify myself as a supervisor, but I wasn't. What they say was, I'm a supervisor while being in that queue. I don't know what the hell that means. They call it standing supervisor. Anywho, any job that had to do, that I have accepted to do, that had any sales, I've always been top performer. And it's because I believed in it. When I was a leasing agent, listen, I like the apartments. I believe in the product that we're selling, the people looking for a place to stay. I know the market. I know the real estate. I know the cost of having a house. And even though renting apartments is more expensive, back then it was more expensive than renting a house or buying a house, I was very good because I believe that the 1-year lease as an apartment lease, it's a lot better than getting a 30-year mortgage on a house, and then boom, you lose your job and you have to leave or whatever, and then now you got this big debt of hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I believe that it was a benefit, and I was top. Matter of fact, the regional manager came into the office, and he actually said out loud, "So when are you going to make Dennis your assistant manager?" And I said, sir, that's not going to work. This is a woman-controlled environment. And I was not joking about that. I was dead serious. He thought I was joking, but I was serious. And so I tell you all these things because it's not that I'm a good liar. It's just I believe on what I tell you. Now, unless you're able to, somehow you're able to learn to talk to me, then I'm going to listen. And if you have any facts or any good foundation on what you're telling me, then I will go ahead and have a conversation with you. So, for example, here, watch the first thing that Vet says. Let me read the Vet comment. No, don't delete it. Hold on. Vet says, I think he made another comment earlier. I just missed it. All right, so he says, he doesn't know how to type. Why do spread lies and misinformation for money? Okay. Talking about this, he failed 30s. What the hell? Okay, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So these are the same people that called me a liar, that tell me that, I am this jerk and passing misinformation. At the same time, it's like, I give people the chance to come in. Let's have a conversation. Talk to me. The vet Democrat guy here, vet for democracy, he is so angry. He doesn't put his thoughts together. He is so angry on the phone. I can't even have a civil conversation with him. Listen, I know I talk, but the only time that I interrupt people is when they are telling me that I'm lying about something and they just want to ramble about a bunch of other things. That's not how it works. If you're going to tell me A, B, and C, go on. Go ahead. Do it. But when you start lying to me, wait a minute. I'm going to pause you right there. Number one, that's not what I said. That's not how it is. Now go. So that's my problem. They never leer. They just never leer. The march. Are you serious? You don't know what leering is? Somebody tell them why we say they never leer. All right. And then Tony is boring, liar, whatever you want to call me, right? He comes in here. Let's see. There's nothing good about you. You're a bad liar. Okay, your opinion. Thank you for stopping by. Now get the hell out of my chat if you don't want to have a conversation. Sergeant is just laughing. Heli Raz, put in Revelations 2:9. I know thy words and thy tribulation and poverty. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Heli, I'm not sure what you're saying there, but what the hell are you talking about? Anywho, somebody says this is a fake story. Yeah, maybe. But that's what it says, and President Trump smiling. Look at that old dog. Look at that old dog, man. I love that guy. There we go. Here's my nose right there, President Trump. Right there. Let the libtards go nuts, knowing how much I love President Trump. Make America great again. Now, there is another saying, if you haven't heard it. This is actually MAGA. This is it's not President Trump's, MAGA, Make America Great. This is actually a name for Gavin Newsom. Does anybody know what MAGA stands for? What does this stand for? What does that stand for? This is for Gavin Newsom. Anybody, give me a meaning of MAGA. MAGA forever. Forever MAGA. America lost to Iran. I don't know what the hell. Maybe this. Hey, are you from the future? That was for you. Dave Thomas, that burp was for you, and everybody else. Excuse me. Make Israel great again. Sure. Yeah, coffee went up. Hey, William, how are you, my friend? Good to see you in here. Anybody knows what MAGA stands for? It is the new name given to Gavin Newsom. Yes, Blue Gray. He is delusional, but you're perfect. That's right, but you gotta keep the grind, my friend. I gotta keep doing it. All right. MAGA is the new name for Gavin Newsom. It stands for most useless governor in America. That's what it stands for. Hey, I didn't make it up. That's the new governor. That's the new guy, the nominee running for governor in California, who is winning by 4%. All right, that's the guy. All right, and then we'll continue to read. The bottom line is this: if you are a member of MAGA, you approve of Donald Trump, he declared. Further dispelling the MAGA split narrative. Enten pointed out that the president's base of support within the GOP is not shrinking, but actually slightly larger than it was in 2024. Now, they got some new polls, and, we got this minus 61% disapproval. China, China, China. They're over here and make America great again, having a good time. The poll showing Trump's perfect level of support also found that 30% of Americans currently identified, 30% of Americans identify as MAGA. Up from 28% in November. So we got 2% more MAGA supporters. The theme of this segment is Tucker Carlson be darned. Enten said, referring to the conservative commentator who has been outspoken in his opposition to the Iran war. So much for that Trump recently declared he's not MAGA. Yeah, well, we know Tucker Carlson has traded places with from being an American to being some sort of Arab puppet. even bought some land in a Muslim country. That's fantastic. All right. Well, there's your story. It is what it is, whether you like it or not. Sorry about it. Sorry about it. Let me see if we can get a segment of Lefties Losing It. I love her accent. I believe she's from Australia, but I think she's from Australia. But I thought she said that she was American. So I don't know where this accent come from. Let me see if I can find her video. Probably not anymore. It's probably gone by now. Illinois has not learned their lesson. Let's take a listen to see what's going on in Illinois. This is Juliana Stanton pulling off an upset in Illinois. Well, after I see who the hell she ran with, oh my gosh. Check this out, guys. You wonder why. You wonder why blue states are such garbage. Let's take a listen. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm misjudging here. I apologize about that. All right, let's take a look.
Welcome back. If it's Wednesday, we have election results, including in the Illinois Democratic Senate primary, where Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton beat Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy and Congresswoman Robin Kelly in the race for retiring Senator Dick Durbin's seat. Stratton celebrating with supporters in Chicago last night and pledging to be a fighter in Washington. Look.
Tonight's message is clear. We're ready to take our democracy back into our own hands. We never lost sight of what's most important, and that is courage. Courage inspired me to run. Courage powered this campaign. And courage will bring this fight straight to Donald Trump's door.
So when you have no brains, when you can't say that you're going to hold accountable those who are responsible for your affordability crisis, just say, we hate President Donald Trump. That is the solution to anybody winning on a Democratic campaign. I want you to tell me why that is. Why that is. When you compare policies between both parties, and let me rewind this a little bit. I believe all three of them are Democrats. All three are Democrats. Am I right? Am I Democrat, right? Democrat. It's like a lose, lose, lose. There is no winning. All of them, garbage. I keep telling you guys, if you hate Donald Trump, you will never make a sound decision. You will never, ever, ever will be a problem solver. The only thing that she said was, I'm coming after Donald Trump. Why, people? Why do you... Why? Oh my gosh. I don't get it. I don't get it. Wait a minute. What's going on in my chat? What's going on in my chat here? What's going on? Is it Tony's gone? Tony, how you know my IQ is 86? How you know my IQ is 86? This guy, man, he must be a genius. Yeah. 86 is pretty good, bro. 86 is pretty good. He must have learned how to count at the Learning Center. He gets all his facts from the Learning Center, from the Learning Media. 3 Democrats. Surprise, surprise, a Democrat won. This guys. Oh, we're winning. We're taking the midterms. Oh, the Democrats here, Democrats there. We're winning. We're taking the midterms. Well, when 3 Democrats go against 3 Democrats, a Democrat is going to win. You just can't make this shit up, man. I'm going to tell you why. Why we have a socialist Democrat in Seattle right now. You ready? You will never guess. You will never guess why we have a socialist Democrat in Seattle, Washington. Yeah. You'll never guess. Miss, you got to understand when there's sarcasm. What they tell me about my IQ, please, I will eat them for breakfast. They have no idea what the hell they're talking about. But we had 2 socialist Democrats running for mayor. No Republican, no independent. 2 socialist Democrats. Oh, somebody had to win. And she didn't even win by that much. Where's the Republicans? Where is the independents? Where do they go? It's very, very low. Very low. Which, by the way, Somalis are known to have a lot less than that. My IQ has got to be at least 128. Somewhere in there. I'm not that smart.
Congresswoman Robin
into that for Stratton. Well, first of all, we expected she was going to do well in the city of Chicago, and the city of Chicago produces like a third of all the votes statewide in a Democratic primary in Illinois. She certainly did do well in Chicago. She won it over her nearest opponent, Raja Krishnamurthy, by about a 2-to-1 margin, like a 20-point victory in the city of Chicago. That was fairly expected here. She would do well like that, but then in the suburbs immediately outside of Chicago in Cook County. Okay, Cook County has 5 million people in it. She also won the suburbs. That was not expected. She won the Cook County suburbs over Chris.
Oh, Team Hype, you never disappoint. I guess we can't cure stupidity. Team Hype, sorry, bro. You just, I don't know, man. You just lost, bro. You just lost. All right, let's see. That's enough of this ranting about Democrats beating Democrats. Yeah, that's an unbelievable win right there. Democrats beating Democrats. Wow, I did not see that one happen. Oh, here we go. Now Lefties Losing It is back on. Here we go. Let's listen to her. She's awesome.
It's time for Lefties Losing It. And what I'm about to show you is, I've got to say, a little bit sad. I know we have...
Actually, let me clip. I'm going to put her link to the video. I'm gonna put the link on the video on the description if you guys want to revisit that channel.
But sometimes the dysfunction, the hate, the cowardice of the modern left is, well, a little depressing. Even a leftist as blessed as Hollywood actor Jerry O'Connell, good-looking, rich, successful, but utterly divorced from reality. First, let's look at him establish his Democrat credentials.
I went to a Kamala Harris rally. My wife and I donated to the campaign.
Oof.
And Megan Thee Stallion played. And that was pretty epic, Bill, if you were there. I mean, it really invigorated, like, excitement, you know?
Really invigorated the people who are already going to vote for her anyway. That's who invigorated.
Now, I'm about to show you the sad part. This rich, attractive, successful dude has failed as a man. His own family, his wife and daughters physically attacked him on election night for not being sufficiently pro-Kamala. Watch how terrified he is at the prospect of speaking his mind. He's self-censoring and being so pitifully weak that even fellow lefty Bill Maher has to have a go at him.
And I'll be honest with you, I didn't think Trump was going to win. I live in California. I didn't think he was going to win. From what I was hearing.
I didn't either.
I think he was going to win.
No,
this is where I live, you know?
Yeah.
I said something along the lines of, like, there was no planning. This is what they get. There should have been a primary. I said something along those lines, you know? Like, I was just spitballing ideas as to, it was a shock, you know? My wife and daughters, without saying anything, became physical with me. They were filled with rage. So if I am being careful with you in how I say things, yes, I live in California. I live with not one, not two, but three people who, if I made any kind of joke, they would, they'd become very angry with me, you know?
Well,
so
I don't want to tell you how to live your life, but I couldn't live that way. I would, whatever household or whatever situation I'm in, I say what I truly think, and if it makes you angry, I'm sorry. We'll have to work that out.
Well, it makes...
But I am not going to tuck my tail between my legs and just shut the up. This is what you were dealing with when you were a child. Just sit there and don't say anything.
Just pitiful. Weak. Now, let's check in on an awful, that's an affluent white female leftist who has delusions of victimhood.
I have less rights than I did when he became president. And I shouldn't have less rights than I used to. I shouldn't have different rights than my husband has in 50 states. I shouldn't have to provide a plethora of other documentation to get an ID because I got married, because I've changed my name. It's just chipping away at us little by little until we don't realize we're all cooked.
There you have it. Republicans have it in for marriage now, apparently. They're coming for married women. Yeah, right. Now, this is the opposite of an awful. Here we have a brave, principled, logical British woman, Connie Shaw, who clearly has endless reserves of patience. Watch this. She tries and tries again to get some sense from a trans activist holding a union banner.
Do you support a woman if she was going through the fact that she'd been assaulted in a single-sex space by a male person? So, no, you wouldn't help a woman who was a member of your union if she had been raped in a single-sex space for women by a man.
Trans women are women.
Even if they rape other women?
Trans women are women.
Even rapists?
Women commit crimes.
But
trans women are women.
Was Isla Brighton a woman?
Trans women are women.
What makes them women?
Trans women are women.
And you've got no explanation for what makes them women?
Is it in the word? Is it in the name?
Well, I'm looking for a definition, not a circular argument.
Trans women are women.
Do you see how that's a circular definition?
No brain.
Would you like to explain why trans women are women?
That's all they have. Projection, empty words and circular arguments.
Yep.
Watch now as this coward has other activists come in to physically obstruct Connie Shaw from asking any more uncomfortable questions.
Trans rights, human rights.
What about women's rights to single-sex spaces?
Trans rights are human rights.
So you don't believe that women have the right to get unchanged away from the presence of men?
This guy has to be in here, in this chat. That is exactly how they talk. It's just, they say we're brainwashed, right? But this is exactly how they talk. They get mad at me and say that I'm lying, but they can't tell me what I'm lying about. They make up all these lies and excuses like Coward Cenk. He says, let me straighten out all these lies that have been said so far. And the first thing he says is a lie. That's just the way it is.
Now to a man who should be awarded the Pulitzer Prize, if that media awards actually meant anything these days. Here is Nick Shirley, who blew apart...
Oh, Melody, how you doing, Tyrone? Tyrone in the house. While you playing this, Dennis, be a real man versus the weak coward you are. It was hilarious when you called Trump and yourself an alpha. Seriously, dude, you are clueless. When I tell my wife, make daddy a sandwich, you know what she does? Go make daddy a sandwich. She brings me juice. She brings me water. She brings me food. I am the alpha in this house. Anybody come and threaten my life, my wife, my kids, I take care of it. Anybody disrespects my wife or my kids, I take care of it. It's what alphas do. You're welcome. I thought you wanted that explanation. Thanks for asking.
The depths of fraud in Minnesota, concentrated in the Somali community. Well, Nick Shirley's in LA now, and the scale of the fraud there is even worse. What he's...
Haley, that is not the question. Are you pro-women rights? I'm pro-human rights. Oh, what color is your hair? Purple, green, maybe a little orange and pink? Yeah, we get it. We get it.
Saw in LA is incredible. Here he is at what looks like a former motel, which is allegedly running 30 fake hospice businesses.
We have Angels of Valley Hospice. We have Angels of Haven, Angels of Peace, Light of Angels. Yet,
hey, look, I like how the libtards like to defend fraud. And they continue to say President Trump is a racist and blah, blah, blah. And at the same time, it's like, this is what you fools on the left support. It is what it is. I don't make this up. You're watching it yourself. I'm sure you saw this and you thought, oh, a MAGA guy, skip. Listen, so that maybe you will know that we have been telling you the truth this whole time. And they have been lying to you. You must wake up. You know what? You know what? You know what I found that is very common amongst all the leftist people? And I'm talking about libtards, not Democrats. I'm talking about libtards. You know what the common denominator is? They have resentment in their heart. They cannot forgive. And as long as they don't learn to forgive, they will continue to have that resentment in their heart. And they will continue to hate people that don't deserve the hate. They hate others because they hate themselves. When they call me a liar, it's because they know they are liars. They project themselves on other people. Now, I know when I get all loud and passionate, sounds like I'm angry. I get you. I'm with you. I understand that. But when you have righteous anger, you should show it. You should release your righteous anger. But don't be a Karen. Melody, a.k.a. Tyrone, is a white socialist, Democrat, liberal Karen. Her emotions are very unstable. I'm telling you, man, she's psychotic. She should not have a weapons permit. And that would be a menace to society. All right, go ahead and continue here.
The BMWs, one right here, one right there, 2 brand new Mercedes over there. It just is unbelievable the amount of money that these people are making, and they're not even trying to hide it.
And while in Minnesota, we had fake daycare centres that had no children enrolled, in LA, he found children in daycare centres, but there were no adults around.
MAGA lies. MAGA lies. That's how I picture libtards. You guys are crazy. This is why we're bringing asylums back. You will all have a nice place, a nice cozy room where you can't hurt yourself. Okay? Okay.
Talk to the adult.
He is not here.
Not here.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So you guys all by yourself?
Yeah. Knock on the door.
No one's here.
No one is here. No one is not here.
Okay, so you guys are all by yourself?
Okay. I can see by myself.
Yeah, okay, that's concerning.
Wow.
That is concerning. Let's bring in Newsweek's senior editor at large, Josh Hammer. Josh, tell me about this focus on LA now.
Oh, Chad, you don't watch my channel, do you? I wear this hat outside as well. What a moron. What is that? You trying to prove that I'm a coward, that I'm scared, or what you going to do if you see me with a MAGA hat on? Are you retarded? We have freedom of expression. It's a free country. And don't think that I'm over here walking around in my underwear. I am very, very dressed for the occasion.
In California in general, surely it can't be as diabolical as what we saw in Minnesota.
Well, it's quite bad. I mean, envision, Rita, Minnesota on steroids. That's basically what California is. California is essentially democratic governance on steroids. It's been that way for a very long time. Unfortunately, it's reached something of a low point under Gavin.
Helly, you don't even support women's rights. What kind of libtard are you? I support women's rights. I know what a woman is. I know what a man is.
Newsom, I guess we'll see if he can get even lower in a future Democrat gubernatorial administration in Sacramento. Far be from me to predict that, but I frankly probably could get even worse than this. It centers around Medicare and Medicaid fraud. No. That's why Dr. Oz, the former television star who's now the head of the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, he's been at the formal administrative center of exposing a lot of these issues out in Los Angeles County. According to the receipts, Los Angeles County, California is single-handedly responsible for somewhere between 15 and 20%, if memory serves, of the Medicare-related quote-unquote payments in America, which doesn't actually make sense. It's a large county, but it's only one county. So yes. The administration is starting to expose some of this fraud. Nick Shirley and others are on the ground trying to expose more of this. Shirley continues to do a lot of really solid investigative work when it comes to this. He's basically just showing up with a camera, Rita. It's really not exactly the work that you need a PhD in filmmaking to do. It's really kind of just very entrepreneurial type stuff there. My hat off to him for doing this, and we'll see where it goes, I guess.
Josh, let's hear from Dr. Mehmet Oz. You mentioned him. He is President Trump's administrator for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Service. Here is what he had to say about fraud in LA.
$100 million. You get the national numbers that you just highlighted. You have states, red and blue, who are suffering because the rules were lax and weak, and folks, fraudsters, took advantage of them. But we're on to them, and we're going after not just autism, which is, of course, a heinous way to steal money from the American taxpayer, but we're also going in for home health care that's unnecessary, hospice care. John, California has 1/3 of, forget how, Los Angeles. The city of Los Angeles, the county around it, is 1/3 of all hospice centers in the entire country. Is everyone dying in Los Angeles? These are impossible numbers.
That's what you were talking about, Josh, and they do seem like impossible numbers. How can LA alone have 1/3 of all the hospice centers in the entire country?
Yeah, so that's, I mean, that's shocking even to me, Rhea. I actually had not heard that exact statistic about 1/3 of hospice centers. I mean, what I had seen is 15 to 20% of autism-related centers, things like that there. I mean, 1/3 of, I mean, look, LA is a big city. It has a declining population, actually, and in fact, it's probably going to decline even more. It probably will get surpassed, actually. It's the nation's second largest city if current trends hold by a place like a Phoenix, Arizona, or Houston, Texas. potentially in the next 10, 15 years. So we'll see how that goes. But there are a lot of people in LA, but no, there are not 1/3 of older people who need hospice. That is facially absurd. And the median American looks at that and starts scratching his or her head and says, this cannot possibly be right. What on earth happened here? And what happened here is that these blue jurisdictions at best turn a blind eye to rampant fraud, to rampant welfare fraud, the very welfare that the Democratic Party has institutionally, structurally put in place in America, going back to the Lyndon Johnson Great Society in the 1960s, and many programs have been built on top of that since then there. So,
you know what's crazy is that I heard that that Gavin Newsom was going off on Nick Shirley. I'll look it up. That was going off on Nick Shirley. Don't you think that he should be doing the opposite? That he should be like, wait a minute, what's going on? There is fraud. Well, let's look into this. What's going on? Nope. He decides he's gonna go all off on this MAGA influencer. Now that's just the word that I heard. If you're hearing it here from them, that is the story. But I'm gonna look for another video.
They started the welfare state, and now they are bilking the federal taxpayer via the welfare state. It's something that they've been doing for a very, very long time. And I guess one of the many benefits of having this current administration in power is that they are no longer actually turning a blind eye to it. Personally, Rita, what I would like to know is I would like to know the extent to which the Biden administration in particular was complicit in this. Were they aiding and abetting this? Surely Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is a Californian herself. Let's not forget there. She has a very long relationship with Gavin Newsom there. I would be curious to know, what did Kamala Harris know about this fraud in Los Angeles County, and when did she know it? That would be at the top of my list of questions.
And you've got Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom, the frontrunners for the Democratic presidential candidacy in 2028. I mean, that is the best they have at the moment. And just have a look at California to see how well that's going. Now, I saw a piece you wrote for the LA Times, a fantastic piece on what victory would look like for the US in the Iran war. Tell me why you see this war as fitting the America First agenda, and when and how can the Trump administration exit this conflict?
Sure. So this war is not something that came by surprise. There are a lot of folks that are saying this is not what Donald Trump campaigned on. He campaigned on ending forever wars, and so he did. So he absolutely did. But the framing is off, Rita. I don't have to be the one to tell you that the Iranian regime has been at war with the United States and the West, but really above all, possibly the United States, for 47 years. How do I know that? Because they literally chanted every single day, because their very first act, the revolutionaries' very first act back in the Jimmy Carter presidency in 1979, was to storm the United States embassy. That was their first act. They held the Americans hostage for 444 days. They have not stopped killing Americans ever since then, from the Hezbollah Beirut barracks bombings back in 1983, all the way to the roadside IEDs in Iraq from Qasem Soleimani, until most recently, the attempt to assassinate Donald Trump on our own soil, for which a Pakistani national was actually just recently convicted here in federal court. So they've been doing this for a very, very, very long time. So the war has been waged against the United States, whether Americans think about it or whether we want to acknowledge it or not. The only difference is that Donald Trump is a man who is finally actually addressing this head on. He's not interested in kicking the can down the road like prior presidents have been doing for 47 years and counting there. Now, he's not going to drag this on forever. It's not going to be an interminable Iraq or Afghanistan-like conflict. He has no interest in trying to sculpt a Jeffersonian or Lockean liberal democracy there in Iran. Rather, the goal of Operation Epic Fury, from an American national interest, therefore a MAGA America First perspective, the goal here is to neutralize the Islamic Republic of Iran as a threat to the United States and our interests. We've already come a pretty far way on that. The task is not yet completed there. But that is the goal on its own terms. When that goal has been met, and it's admittedly a debate as to exactly how to judge that goal, but when that goal is met, this operation can be finished. Now, the ideal situation, the ideal goal, of course, is for the United States and our Israeli allies to lay the conditions for the Iranian people to take matters into their own hands and to actually make sure that this most horrific of regimes goes to the hellish ash heap of history where it so richly belongs there. But while that is the ideal scenario, that is not necessarily the strict necessary criteria, in my estimation, for this operation succeeding on its own terms. The operation, from our perspective here in the U.S., is a success when the nation of Iran is no longer a threat to the United States. Ideally, that's regime change, but I think it's at least theoretically possible for something slightly less than that. I'm thinking here along the lines of the Venezuela model, where you have a Delcy Rodriguez type figure, someone who is technically on paper of the regime, but he or she is basically just doing the biddings of the United States in reality.
If that doesn't happen, if the regime manages to hold on for weeks, months, and we've got the midterms looming, how will that factor into the equation? Because this is a conflict you would think the president would like to wrap up well before the midterms.
It's a great question, and I think certainly Republicans would prefer that this war be wound up sooner rather than later. I think no one wants to head into August, September, October with a months-long campaign in the Middle East front and center for voters. The big question, Rita, comes to the price of oil. What is going to happen here when it comes to oil? Energy is kind of the mother's milk of prices more generally. If you buy any goods, if you purchase food at the supermarket, it's all downstream of energy because those goods were transported there on tankers, on airplanes, on trucks. It literally all comes from energy. So wherever the oil markets are, I think is going to be the number one factor here. And oil has spiked. It hasn't spiked quite as much as people, I think, in many ways thought it would, because America is now the world's number one exporter, actually, of oil and natural gas. So let's see what happens with the Strait of Hormuz. And I guess Trump's message to our NATO quote-unquote allies is pretty clear, which is you guys should help us. You guys should help us secure the Strait of Hormuz, which is this 21-mile choke point that Iran controls there. Make sure the energy flows there. Frankly, he could say to Keir Starmer, Emmanuel Macron, and these guys there, you guys should care about the price of gas just like we should. Guess what? We all drive cars. We all fly on planes there. So it's Trump thus far has not apparently been able to convince our very feckless, weak-minded European quote-unquote allies to join us on this particular mission. But God willing, Rita, that'll get done. And I think any midterm implications will be assuaged if that happens.
Now, a top counter-terrorism official, Joe Kent, has resigned over the war with Iran. He claims that Israel has misled President Donald Trump into this conflict. But Josh, despite claims that the war is splitting MAGA, the polls say otherwise. Here is CNN.
Sometimes you look at the polling data and there are numbers that just jump off the screen at you, and this is one of those. Because just take a look here. MAGA GOP view of Trump. Approve 100%. 100%. If you are a member of MAGA in the GOP, you approve of Donald John Trump. 0% say that they disapprove. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know you can't go higher than 100%. He is the 1972 Miami Dolphins.
Oh, gosh, I love seeing those poll numbers on CNN.
I didn't make it up. You heard it. That was not Fox. That's my computer background, just so you know. Bam! Here's something interesting. You guys will love this. You guys are going to love this. If you haven't seen it, you're going to love this. Remember last year? Remember last year when we told people, when we told Americans in New York, don't vote for Mandani. Don't vote for Mandani. He's a socialist, communist, and on top of that, he supports Hamas. Don't destroy New York. Nothing is gonna be free, like he said. It's not gonna be free. You guys, don't do it. Don't do it. We are sick and tired of this and that, and we're gonna make a change. Plus, he's cute. Well, let's see what's going on in these Democratic hardcore, big money making powerhouses in the economic industry. Let's take a listen and see what's going on. Oh, man. Just looking at that little picture right there. Yeah. Hey, Liptards, are you guys ready for the midterms? Are you guys ready to vote for President Trump and all the Republicans, not the fake Republicans, the real Republicans. Oh man, is that California in there? Man, these are all fake news. Fake news. $102 billion negative debt deficit. Negative. New York, 111 negative. All right, maybe I'm just probably misreading here what's going on. I'm probably just misreading it. Let's take a listen. Maybe I'm wrong. It's not what I think.
A problem. No state has seen more wealth leave in 10 years than New York. Mike, that soundbite is shocking, to say the least.
Almost comical. But the crazy part is, I mean, she's an intelligent woman, supposedly. No one's coming back unless you change the policies that cause them to leave in the first place. Right. So just to come back because the governor, who won't change any of her policies, wants you to come back, the high net worth people are smart enough to go where their money's going to be treated best, and that's Florida. So I don't know. You have to do better than what she's doing. You want to keep people in New York to pay taxes for her social programs. You have to offer them something. But keeping it status quo, you're going to get more of the exact same, and that's people leaving quickly.
Jackie, what makes me nervous about this is we always talk about watch what I do, not what I say. She's saying a lot of things because she's in an election year, but the actions haven't changed.
I don't believe her.
I don't either.
She endorsed Mamdani. She realizes right now that she needs revenue to be reelected and to keep things afloat so that she doesn't look like the total utter disaster that she actually is. But that's a separate issue. There's something playing out behind the scenes. David and I commiserate all the time about Mamdani, and we read this and we read that, and can you believe he wants to do this? And, you know, it'll blow your mind, and it's really disheartening, especially for people who live here. But I was reading an interesting article that was you know, we've been talking about Donald Trump threatening federal funding and to pull some of that. I've been waiting for that paddle, you know, to come kind of smack Mamdani and the city. But I was reading about a couple of lawsuits that gave me a little hope. Their Gateway project is a project where they want to be able to connect New York and New Jersey even further with more tunnels. That is stalled in court. That would be partially federally funded. The Second Avenue subway.
Hey, John Anthony, keep us in your prayer, brother. Tell your people about us, and please have a prayer for us in your Bible study. Thanks, man.
Past 96th Street, which is where it ends right now. There was an expansion plan to take it up much further than that. That is tied up in court as well. So federal funds are not flowing here the way that they once were without any questions being asked. And I think that that's sort of like the story that nobody is talking about silently, but that is going to end up being what makes everybody do a little 180 the way Kathy Hochul has done.
David, you're kind of nodding along.
Well, because, again, Jack.
You know, this is why I get so passionate. This is why I yell on my microphone. This is why I get so go off on people. We already know. We got the facts. We know the truth. We know how they run, how they operate, how they are destroying our cities and states. And those people that unfortunately have the power to vote, like Angry Melody, like those people destroy our country, like literally. Just because you like to pay taxes up the yin yang, just because you have a comfortable life, don't be a selfish prick. There's a lot of poor people that are affected by it. You may not be affected by it, but there is millions of people that are affected by the economy, by unaffordability. Just because you got money doesn't mean that somebody else that is poor can afford to pay more taxes. The moron that loves to pay taxes needs to move to the UK. Go with the Brits. We got rid of them for that piece of junk. We got rid of the Brits because of taxes, and amongst other things, but taxes were one of them. And you idiots like to live in a very high-taxed state. Ain't that right, Melody? Ain't that right? How's affordability in Hawaii? Don't blame it on Trump. It's always been very expensive in Hawaii. Go ahead. Back in 2019, back in 2016, every single year that I can go back to, Hawaii has been so expensive. Native Hawaiians are coming to the mainland. Go ahead, tell us, as a Democrat state that you have been ran by so many years, so many decades, tell us, how is the economy in Hawaii? You see what I'm saying? How is your economy over there? Go ahead, F Trump. Yeah, I get it. That is the main excuse of the leftists. F Trump. I got you. But what are Democrats doing to fix that problem? Huh? Yeah, you think about it, okay? When, I don't know, somebody put you in timeout, I think. Whenever you come out of timeout, give us an answer. I'm waiting to hear. I'm dying to hear this.
You know, I've been commiserating with each other about this for a while. But when she said the first tape that we played, where she said, "I don't need you, go to Florida," and that was in 2022. From 2012 to 2022, New York lost 1.7 million people that going to places like Florida. So as she was saying that, we had lost the people. That's the money that we've lost. But the people that make that money are the most important part of that equation. And so she has not gotten it for a while. She did finally get some knock on the head that made her realize that we can't go on like that. And that was probably the budget. But then you have Mamdani. I mean, the thing, I was born here. I've lived here for 46 years because I moved out when I was a kid, but came back because I loved it. So I've been through all kinds of stuff. I've been through the various crime waves, 9/11, the pandemic, et cetera. But I never thought I would leave. Now I'm beginning to feel that way. And people who've been here for a long time are beginning to. I love this city. I know people out there think I'm crazy for doing this, but folks, I've got my roots here, and you don't want to be chased out of the place that you have your roots.
Quality of life has really eroded.
Quality of life has eroded. So there are a lot. And then you have these 11 tax proposals that Mamdani has come out with, most of which, with the exception of the property tax, he can't do without her support.
Right.
Is she going to support him in order to get the left wing to support her bid for re-election? I wouldn't bet against it. I wouldn't bet against it. It goes directly against what she just said, but she folds like a cheap suit.
So there's another, you brought up some revenue tax proposals. Brian, let me go to you on this proposal. In City Hall, Zohran Mamdani is pushing to make the Big Apple home to the highest minimum wage in the country. But one analyst at the Manhattan Institute warning that the plan would actually hurt workers that Mamdani is trying to help, saying that that $30 minimum wage proposal could cause higher prices, obliterate certain industries, and definitely not make New York more affordable. All right, so you're my economist. Walk me through, and for our audience, what does a $30 minimum wage do? Is it helpful or hurtful?
It means boom time for robots and AI. That's all it means. Any company that can afford it will find a way.
David, what's a lie? Go ahead, enlighten me. What's a lie? I want to know. I want to know. I want you to explain to me what is a lie. Give me some information. Man. This is just what libtards say, bro. This is they're always saying that lie, liar, lie, but they don't know. They don't never say what. What is a lie? You know why they don't tell us what the lie is? Because they know that we're gonna research it, and that we're gonna show them that they're lying. Just like the Haley girl that just left. Was she talking about $8, $10 gas a gallon in California? I just looked it up, $5.56 or so. Yeah, tax the rich. Good job, David. Way to chase them away. Apparently, you're not watching what we're watching. Apparently, you're not hearing the Democrats crying out for help, begging people to come back. What are you talking about? How about basketball? Yeah, go ahead. Tax the, why don't we put a cap? Why don't we put a cap on professional players. You cannot make more than this many $1 million. And then the owner cannot keep more than this many $1 million, and then give all that away to useless, lazy ass people that don't want to work and become drug addicts on the way out. Yeah, that plan doesn't work, David. Remove my last name from your name. You are embarrassing the Herrera name.
Way to automate it. It's the easiest way to kill jobs in an era when you have the best replacement for human workers that we've ever had in the history of the world. But you know what? You know what wins here? Kathy Hochul's losing. Mamdani will lose. Do you know what wins here?
Federalism.
Federalism.
I knew it.
I don't. You know what?
You and
Kathy
your
Hochul,
pesky
you can beg all you want, but you have neighbors who haven't screwed up the way you have, and they will win, and you will lose. And you know what? We could all, like, we don't have to live in New York City.
I know.
We could move right across the river, one way or the other, and we're out of that mess.
It's the middle.
Lie. I am a peace president. Armando, were you saying that he was a peace president when he stopped 8 wars, or were you one of those guys that said, oh, he's lying about stopping 8 wars? Everything is a lie with you idiots. Tell me, genius, how do you make peace deals with a terrorist that says death to you and your family? Tell me how you make a deal with that. Go ahead. Tell me. 47 years hasn't worked. How many presidents said it was bad, but not one of them had the cojones to go out there and do what Trump is doing? Go ahead and convince me. Convince me that you can convince a terrorist to stop threatening us with words.
Class that's screwed. They don't have that freedom of movement. They don't have the ability to do that. They're the ones that are really screwed by these tax proposals of this dumb mayor.
It's true, but their kids might move.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
the
can I
next
talk to you about
generation.
the business community? Because I'm not hearing enough from the business community speaking out. And I was very much on Bill Ackman's side, where he was very against Mamdani. And then when Mamdani won, he said, I'm willing to work with you. And I thought, yeah, that's good, right? Like, if you have a business here, you have to be willing to work with the leaders. But I need more people to be speaking out in the business community if they really are against these. I don't like this, like, backdoor, where we were talking about Larry Fink at BlackRock for 100 years saying green energy, woke, woke, woke. And now that it's not in vogue, finally now speaking out. I need them to speak out now. Why aren't we hearing business leaders speak out?
You know, because people want to do what is not going to blow back in their face. Larry Fink didn't want to go out and speak against green energy, even if that's what he actually believed, because that didn't help his business. That didn't help his shareholders. That didn't help money flowing into BlackRock. So I think it's more of the same now. There's nobody out there who's running. Start with medium-sized businesses. Okay, take minimum wage from $17 to $30 an hour. Yes, they'll lose workers. They could get robots, but before that happens, they probably go out of business, or they take their business elsewhere. So who does that help in the long run? You know, so we're a few months into Mamdani's 4-year term. It's only going to get worse, and a lot worse. So the high earners aren't speaking out. You know, I was interested to hear if Jamie Dimon weighed in on this at all, who I think should, and, you know, he'll come out with his talking points here and there, but anyone who's earning high earners in New York City have to be thinking about going elsewhere, because it's the writing's on the wall that taxes are going in one direction. That's higher. So costs also, quiet taxes are going up everywhere, but taxes on the wealthy, on the rich, are going to continue to go up. There's no end in sight. So this is the first time in my life, and again, born and raised in New York, first time where I think, man, maybe the city doesn't come back this time.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
And you're a business leader.
Well, you know what? You're listening to professionals. I told you from my own experience what raising the minimum wage too high does to small businesses, and not just small businesses, but to everybody that depends on fast food restaurants to be able to get a quick bite. And even the fast food restaurants are not that fast. They cannot afford a $30 minimum wage pay. You guys are retarded if you think that will fix the economy. But why don't we do this? Why don't we take some calls? You guys want that? I know. I see you on the chat. I see you excited, waiting to call in. I want you to convince me of your plan. Wait, that's too much. I want you to convince me of your plan on how to fix the economy in your state. All right? Here we go. All right. You may call in. Remember, don't be a jackass. I will hang up on you. If you start a conversation just cussing on me, yeah, thank you for calling. All right? There you go. There you go. Call in and convince me that raising taxes is the best thing that we can do to fix the economy in our state, whatever state you're in. I don't care if it's blue, red, I don't care. I want to hear from you guys, from you, the people. When they raised it to $17, guess who paid for it? Basile! Man, about time you say something right. I don't know why you're fighting me. That is exactly what I've been saying. Yep. 100%, Basilio. You finally say something. Roots. I'm going to call you Roots. It's easy to say. Roots, 100%. I agree. Don't worry, Jason. I don't want you to call. You're good. Here we go. Michelle says, New York is going to go the same as England. Unfortunately. Oh, my gosh. Man, you ain't lying. You are not lying. Brits were trying to warn America. I know. I talked to a lot of them. Unemployment is growing daily. Yeah, I believe it. But you know what? Illegal immigrants, though, they don't take jobs away. They just do the jobs nobody wants to do. And they say it to you with a smile. Let's see. Young people cannot find work. I wonder why. And I wonder why there is a housing crisis. I guess they never prepare for millions of people and hundreds of thousands of people to come in all at once. I mean, they expected little babies to grow in 18 years before they went and looked for a new house. They didn't expect hundreds of thousands, and in our case, millions of adult illegal immigrants looking for housing with families. Yeah, that's not a problem with affordability. That has no effect at all on the economy. Hey, Warhorse, how you doing, brother? Dennis is not a true American. You are this guy. Oh, man. Listen, man. I'm going to tell you something right now. I think if our native Indians would have met your native Indians, we probably would have had you for lunch. And maybe in some cases, probably literally. You know, Chief Wild Horse of the Comanche tribe, he actually gave me a compliment because my ancestors, we were the builders. We got the Mayan ruins, we got the Aztecs, the temples. Here, they didn't do that. That's how far advanced our native civilization was compared to the natives here in the northern part of America. Nonetheless, we are all American, whether you like it or not. I am from Central America, but I could have migrated. As a matter of fact, I migrated here, just like Native Americans did. They migrated all over the country, all over the land. Just because you were here, it doesn't make it yours. Anywho, somebody give me a call. Tell me, convince me that raising taxes is the best way to fix your economy or to help American citizens, anybody that lives in your state. Come on, guys. You've been calling me a liar this whole time. Anybody. There's the phone number, guys. Don't ask me for the phone number. It's on the screen. I even made it just so that you guys can call it. I'll be nice. Just don't curse at me. Let me talk. If you ask me a question, let me talk. And if you lie, I will cut you off. Okay? So don't lie. Make a statement and be good. Show us your birth certificate. No, you're not ICE. Nice try, Jorge. George, George, George of the jungle. Watch out for that tree. Go ahead, Jorge. You can call in. You can call in. You can call in and tell me, how do raising taxes on the people help the economy in your state? Or is there something else that you can think of that will help even more? Billionaires is theft. How did they acquire all that money, diaper rash? Go ahead, tell me how they get that money. And don't give me this bull crap excuse. Oh, they inherited. Yeah, tell that to the Starbucks CEO who is a billionaire. Is that right? Merchman has a channel in his bunkers. Oh man, you gotta tell me the name of that channel, bro. You gotta tell me the name of that channel. That would be something to hear. Hey, thanks for calling. Who's this?
Hey, how's it going, man?
What's your name?
First time I didn't see you on this show here.
Oh, I see. What's your name, buddy?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. What do you got? What do you got? How do you fix our state?
That's a good question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you know how the United States got out of that World War II?
No. We want to hear how we can help today. How we can help today.
Well, that's what I'm going.
No. So I don't. So just go ahead and explain today. So I want to hear it.
Okay. So I'm asking if you know how that happened. Well, they created bonds.
In World War II? No, I don't.
So yeah, right. So they created bonds, and I'm wondering, why don't they do something similar today? Why do we got to go through war, go through that entire process, just so that we can deflate the dollar or go into another currency? Why don't we just skip that whole entire process, create some new bonds, and get out of debt?
Are you saying you want to do Bitcoin?
No, see, that's not tangible. What happens when all the lights
Yeah,
go
that's what it is. You remember all those bonds that expired? They're no longer there's no value to them.
But you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Countries out there right now.
Yeah.
Look at Cuba. If let's say they invested, you got the whole island invested in Bitcoin, they can't touch it because the lights are out.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah.
You need something tangible.
Yeah. Well, you have the dollar. Yeah, you have the dollar.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Yeah, it's the paper.
So, right, and that used to be backed by. First, it was, you had your gold, silver, etc. Then you had your silver note, and they actually had silver inside the dollar. Today it's just cotton, right? I don't know how many people know that or not, but
I didn't know that.
I
thought it comes from trees, man. It's paper.
No, it's not. It's actually made out of cotton.
What? That's crazy. I didn't know.
Yeah, it's made out of cotton. There hasn't been a lot of people able to counterfeit it. Anyways, long story short, it's become a fiat currency, and that's why there's a lot of problems. Now it's backed by oil. So before it was backed by something tangible, gold, silver, copper, etc.
Yep. It still is. That's why China's collecting it.
No, it is not backed by that anymore. It's backed by oil. That's why you see all these problems here now.
But China doesn't have oil. They're collecting gold, and their values and the gold is going up. That's why the coin sucks. But that's because they keep cutting back, and that's another story. But yeah, they've been collecting gold, and they've been raising in power.
Right. Well, you can think all the business that we gave them. Now all of the manufacturing jobs left the United States and went there.
Yeah.
Yep. And it kind of really messed us up. And so now all of our ammunition is made by China.
Yeah. Well, I hope we're making our own now. I hope that we're making our own.
It's a true story,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
That's why
That's
we're
stupid.
struggling with rare earth elements.
Yeah. Who did that?
Who did that?
Yeah.
Well,
Who?
it's been a series.
Who?
I would say maybe ever since Carter.
Fucking idiot. Yeah.
Ever since Carter on this way, except for Trump. So, he's the only one that's been a real president in the last. And I wasn't a big fan of his, by the way, but he caught my attention when he said that he was going to go against the banks. It's like, yeah, right, okay, right. Let me see that.
Yeah.
And when he said that he was going to end all of this garbage going on with the banks, you know how Obama bailed out all of the big banks and kept them in power. Those banks, they're not really run just here in the United States. The majority of them are in Great Britain. That's why you'll see there's a lot of conflict going on. A lot of the conflict that we have right now is against NATO. And NATO is the ones who have the big banks. They're the ones who fund everything. They thought they were going to be slick this last time because they said, we're not going to provide you insurance for all of the oil ships that are coming out of the Strait there in Bermuda. And that's been a power leverage that they've had for a very long time, 300 years.
What I got a chat here from Cutting Edge is that China collect gold and silver for the servers and AI. Just look at the price of silver in the 2 years ago, and now it's completely crazy.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, that's where some people argue that's where Fort Knox went to, into all of our devices.
Yeah, you know what? Nobody really knows, man. I don't trust it that much. That in that part, you will get me very skeptical about the economy here in our country. But you know the reality of it is that we have allowed manufacturers, especially iron workers and all this stuff. We have allowed them to leave. We went globalist instead of staying nationalist, taking care of our local economy. You bring a great point with that. I'm glad that you brought that oil and all these other stuff in here because one of the reasons why we do and I know this. I thought that you said that they make the weapons, but I think you just said bullets. I think you said, right?
Well, they control the rare earth elements that all of our.
That's right. Yeah. That's the one. So earth elements. So what is one of the things that people always say that we're just greedy? Oh, we just want the oil. You are right. We want the oil because we use the oil. It is money. But you gave me and I have forgotten about this for a while, but you gave me the most important ingredient of why. And remember that Trump has been saying, I don't want manufacturers to make underwear or T-shirts, right? We can use other countries for that. But when it comes to our weapons, here, AI, here, chips, here. And when you think about it, right, so that China had that big hold on us with those rare earth minerals, which is why we're working with Argentina, $40 billion, and we work with, remember, Venezuela. Yeah, Venezuela, rare earth minerals and oil. So Venezuela is bro, that country should have stayed rich all these decades. But, that's another story. But now you have this thing in Iran. And Iran is, people want to say that President Trump is this evil guy. He said no wars. He lied. And, well, we still don't call it a war just so we can keep our lie, according to libtards. But the thing is that, you have all of these countries, right? Everybody talking about NATO. NATO's this good. I don't think NATO's good. I think NATO's crap. We're wasting money there. But, but we have this thing where we're not at war with Iran. They're warring against us. As a matter of fact, we already beat them. We took out their Navy fleet. We took out their military. Yes, they still got missiles, but you know what? They really are not much of a threat. Yeah, they're almost done.
They got a stronghold there.
Yeah. So you have these things to where like, okay, I believe we were exploding some of those mines already. I think it is. I can't find the video now, but I believe that we were already taking out some mines, by dropping explosions on the ocean and triggering them, right? And the thing is,
you know what I think? I hope it doesn't take too much longer to do this because what I
yeah,
think
I don't expect it to be.
this is what I believe what he's doing right now. I've been in a similar situation, obviously in a much smaller scale, right?
Yeah.
But when you're going up against somebody, when you're doing business, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you have a whole block and you take care of your whole block, right? And you take care of, you're looking out for your own. When you know you're the one that's giving here and giving there, giving here and giving there, you're going to know who is the guy who comes up to the party empty-handed.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
That's right.
So when you're about to take the cake, you're going to go and you're going to tell everybody, okay, who's going to bring what?
Yeah.
Because you're about to have a good time. In other words, we know we're about to win this.
Yeah.
But he's going to give leverage in the future to whoever's got, the cojones to come and say, I got your back. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is what I believe. I don't know. Who knows, right? But we're about to take it. He's going to let people come and say, hey, yes, I'm good with you. I'm all right. But the people will say, no. I'm not in this, and I'm not for war, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Bunch of liars, by
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah.
Because look how they were with Ukraine, right? Anyway, the point is, the point is that I believe he's just letting everybody give face, so that tomorrow the ones who give face, the ones who say I got your back, nobody can say why we help them in the future and why we're not going to help the ones who are not going to come and help us at the moment.
That's right. Yeah.
That's what I believe. It's a test of faith.
Yeah.
It's a test of loyalty.
Yeah.
And
they
right
failed.
now he's redrawing the lines, redrawing the books, who's who, and everybody in the country should know that. Of course, everybody's like looking to their own comfort, and they don't really understand who they're voting for. They don't know that, but they should be paying attention who they vote for and what they're voting. Who are they voting for? What do they stand for? The people who they're voting for, what do they stand for actually?
Right.
Because if they're not saying, hey, I'm going to support Trump while we're in this war, these are the same people who are saying, oh, you're going to sing nice to you in front of you. These are the same people who come empty-handed with a big smile and dressing up in bling, but you're paying for that bling, and you're the one paying for them to come empty-handed.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people don't get. They don't understand. They don't understand what a politician is, and they don't understand how to vote.
Yeah.
They don't understand or what that means, what that represents, and why that's important. They don't even read, the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah. 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 They ignore the powers that the president holds, but
I'm going to tell you right now.
Go ahead. I can't hear.
Everybody in the dust when it comes to the Constitution. Number one.
I didn't hear what you said. You cut off. Say that again.
Yeah, when it comes to the Constitution, there's nobody that measures up to Trump holding up the Constitution for the people. In other words, he's using the Constitution for the better of the people.
Oh, wow.
Nobody comes close. Only him. And that's very sad because he's barely, that's iceberg,
Yeah, it is.
Of what he can do for the people. And the people are all up in arms, They don't read. They should read George Orwell, 1984, and they would see what all happened to them. They would see how they were manipulated. They would see how they they were trained to hate the American flag, the
Yeah.
same flag that represents
That's
their big mouth.
that's sad, bro. Yeah, that's sad, bro.
Yeah, it is. You know,
Yeah.
it's really bad. You know, everybody's got a big mouth. Everybody can use a mouthpiece, their little pie hole, but they don't understand that that flag represents the pie hole.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
So everybody shoot themselves in the foot, and they don't even know. And to me, I think it's kind of sad that we have people come from other countries to tell us about our own flag, about our own Declaration of Independence,
Right.
about our own Constitution,
Right.
and have a greater appreciation for you know, they're more patriotic than the United States citizens, you know.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things. Like I came onto your show about you said something about immigrants and whatnot. I'll tell you what, I've helped a lot of illegal immigrants, and I regretted it because they started to show their true colors later. But I'll tell you something
I know my
else.
people.
You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I know my people.
So what bothers me is this. Say you got to follow the rules, and you're going to deport a lot.
Oh, man, you're breaking up, brother.
I'm driving through the mountains here, brother.
Oh, man, it's sad because I like the information you're giving me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can
makes
you hear me
sense. Yeah, makes sense.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so as far as the illegal immigrants that come, it's sad because I don't agree that, you know, they're going to come, they're going to work hard, and they're going to do all the jobs nobody else wants to do, which is true. Everybody knows that. And they draw a new bottom line, and nobody wants to send their kids to work with illegal immigrants. I've heard that said before. But kind of shameful, if you ask me. But
Yeah.
What is really bad is you can't go and deport a bunch of people after you've exploited them for 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
This is true. This is true.
You know, you can't. I'm all for borders, man. I'm not all for, like, if you're illegal, don't be here. I get that.
Yeah.
But you can't allow them in here, bring them here, give them jobs,
Yeah.
and then, you know, be two-faced about it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so it doesn't make, you know, doesn't make sense. Make it make sense.
Yeah.
One more thing about that. All these people that Joe Biden brought here, you know, just after Barack Obama let in, or he actually took out like 13 million people. Anyhow, or deported 13 million people. What's crazy is Joe Biden opened up these borders, him and Kamala Harris, and then what is a big problem, they were invited. They got apps on their phone. They were invited. They got here. Somebody brought them here. They didn't walk all the way from the Central America to the United States border. No, somebody picked them up. Somebody paid for that. Somebody housed them, and somebody paid for their food and their water to come across the border. They were invited. You know, and I think it's messed up what they did to them. And I don't like that when they got here and they were in New York, and I seen these people have like $13,000 on their food stamps and another $13 in cash. I'm like, my mom, who worked all of her life, she never saw nothing like that when she was already retired. You know, it's sad, man. You know, it's really wrong and it's bad. So there's a whole lot of corruption going on, and there's a whole lot of people not being held responsible at that level. So make it make sense is what I'm trying to get at. You know.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. I got so much to say, but it's.
Oh yeah, I know, bro. I'm here every day, man. I know. Trust me, I'm here every day, and I have to repeat it so many times. But I can never get through all the information because one person doesn't understand, the other 300,000 people that go through, well, they never heard it, so I have to say it again, and then, you know, it's very
redundant.
It's very redundant, but as they say, right? You just get more experience as you do it more and more. What I want is for people to understand. Listen, if you are already against Trump, I think you're in the wrong channel. If you are trying to have a conversation and trying to figure out, what the truth is it Democrats, is it Republicans, or is it just dumbass Americans? Is it illegal immigrants? What's going on? What's with the fraud? I want people to think outside of I hate Trump. We just watched a clip and 3 Democrats running against 3 Democrats. Like there's only 3 people and they're all Democrats. And somebody had to win. That's a Democrat. But you listen to part of the speech, and then the crowd was kind of like, hey, that's nice. And as soon as like, I am going to fight Trump, and everybody revolted. And I'm just like, okay, see, that's the problem. That is the problem. That the ignorance of people is real, bro. It is real. And it makes them ignorant because they come in with a hateful heart. They come in with a hateful mentality, resentment, confusion. They hear part of the news from CNN, like this one right here on my background, right? They say that was a lie. Well, that was CNN. That was your favorite channel. And they just can't think about policies. Think about policies. That's all you have to do.
You can always tell where somebody's mind is at and where they got their information from when you have a conversation.
Yeah.
If they have Trump derangement syndrome, there's a clear line that's been drawn. Like that dude watches like the news at 8 p.m.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I get people that get mad at me for telling them something, and they says, "Oh, you watch Fox." Actually, Fox hasn't said it yet, and then Fox says it like a week later. And I'm just like, I don't know how you think news go about, but when you're seeing events happening, I don't have to wait for Fox to explain to me what the hell I'm just listening to. When I'm hearing an emperor, or a prime minister, talking with a president, and this is the response, this is how they talk. I don't need anybody to explain to me what was said. When I listen to the press conferences, I don't need anybody to explain me, oh, well, they meant to say this, and this is what no, I don't need you to explain to me. I already know.
People who can't think for themselves.
Exactly. Thank you, Meldon. Hey, ayate. Ayate, brother. Thank you so much, man. It's good to know that you and the family are listening. Very soon, my friend. May. First week of May, I believe, is when they open when they have enrollment an open enrollment window to put my name on the ballot for governor. So that's when we're going to do it. And haters are going to hate, and they can do whatever they want. But I'm going to tell you something. If I went here in Washington State, man, I got people running for governor as well in California, people in Arizona, and I hope that you guys get to become part of that, because I would love to come down there and bless the Navajo Nation over there with you, brother. Just know that you are in my heart, and I hope that you get to hear me and see me, so that we can do something. I do plan on having some sort of meeting arrangement with the Indian Tribunal, hall over here in Washington State, and I want to talk about land. I want to talk about reservations. I want to talk about all the tribes that we have here in Washington. And hopefully something good comes out of it. I know.
So you're going to run for office?
Yeah. This we're doing that in May. I'm going to put my name on there. Chief.
Okay, you're running for governor of the state of Washington.
Washington State, yeah. Chief Wildhorse, the chief from the Comanche tribes, gave me some good ideas, and I told him I look forward to fighting with you against the Chinook Indian tribe that is not being recognized by the other Indian tribes here in Washington. That's going to be interesting. Cutting Edge for the super. Thank you, brother. The problem is the Democrats, the crazy ones, are our enemies, and they're now into the Red-Green Alliance, communists, socialists, and Islamists. Well, I say Marxists because Islamist is a fake religion anyway. They think it's the most strong wins, and the Islamists every time They win. They have 57 countries. I know that Islam was created 600 years about after Christianity. The Quran contradicts itself. Number one, it protects pedophiles. The Ayatollah, a lot of people miss this, but the Ayatollah just changed the age from 18 back. Not that it was always 18. It changed it back to 9 years old for a man to get married to a woman. Well, I'm sorry, I don't even know why I say a woman. To get married to a 9-year-old prepubescent child. And there is no age limit of how old the male has to be. So this is why you see 70-year-old men marrying 10, 11 years old.
You know, if anybody really does, if they do a sincere study as far as the Quran goes, every one of their arguments falls apart. If they do a real, true, sincere study, that's why a lot of people who are Muslim, and they stop practicing Islam because they want to know. They want to know the truth. And well, Jesus is the truth. The truth comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for the truth, you're going to find it. You know, there isn't a way around that. And as far as the Quran goes, most of the arguments that they have, one of the biggest ones is, well, everything is written there. It's all true.
Yeah.
It's never been rewritten, which
Yeah.
is not true. There's multiple different versions of the Quran.
Yeah.
And there's everything's depending on who they are, they all want to take different parts out and apply it to their region or wherever they're from, and the different kind of Muslims, or whether they're Shiites or they're whatever it is. To answer, to just let me point this out. Why are they all right now against Iran? If they are as unified as what they say, and they all are a one true brotherhood, you know, why are they not unified right now?
Yeah, well, they're against Iran because, you know, you have to know.
Besides the fact that he just blew a bunch of drones at him.
Yeah, besides attacking them, I'm going to tell you a story of how we look at Arabs. Okay, you ready? This is going to be a little bit racist, maybe prejudice, or prejudice, maybe racist. In Honduras, okay, the Arabs, we call them like Turks. Okay, the Arabs in Spanish is turcos. Okay, that's like Turks, right? The Arabs. We see them as business people. Okay, these are the guys that haggle, right, for pricing. Very cheap. They want wealth. They want prosperity. This is what they focus on. And again, it's going to sound prejudiced or racist, but I don't see it that way. This is how we see them. This is how we know them. And the way that if you listen to the Saudi prince, if you listen to any of the other leaders, yes, they got some cells, you know, that they're a little bit extreme Islamist. Some people say that Iranians are Persians. Yeah, that's the old Persian. But, you know, unfortunately, the Ayatollah, they are an extremist Muslim. They're Islam. Even though there's a Christian movement out there or whatnot, Arabs want to be able to trade. They want to. They're very materialistic. They're full of vanity, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing. You know, to each his own, right? But they're full of vanity. They're kind of greedy. Well, we're all greedy, by the way. The world moves on greed, but they're really greedy. They like their money. They like the luxuries, and so they don't want war. They don't want to go and conquer the world. They're happy just, hey, leave me alone. Let me make my hotels, you know. Let me make my entertainment for tourists. I love to show off my cars and the lavish life that I have. This is what they want. They want peace. Let them have it. And this is one thing, okay? Now, I'm a believer. I believe myself to be a Christian. I'm a very, we lost this reception. I'm a very unapologetic Christian is what they call. And what I'm going to tell you is that I don't care how much money, treasures, gold they have in the the Middle East. Let them enjoy it. Let them have it. none of them are condemning the United States of America for what they're doing, because they know that Iran, the Ayatollah in Iran, they're misbehaving. They're putting shame to their religion or whatnot. I know what's going on. I've been working construction for 25 years. I always have hard time getting hired. Since then, I never lived illegal immigrants. Says Mel. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm a very unapologetical Christian man, because I refuse to conform to Pentecostals, to prophetic school churches, to Methodists, to Adventists, to Catholics. I can go to any of these churches, and while I'm in there, I'm going to respect the rules. I'm not going to make fun of them and make them look bad. Hey, listen, to each his own. I am worried about my soul, not yours. Because if I worry too much about your soul, I'm not going to pay attention to mine. Okay? And so, I never liked illegal immigrants. Okay, that makes sense. Don't get crazy, Meldon. Don't get crazy. But you know what? But that's what Trump sees on the Middle East. That's what he wants. He wants money. He wants attention. He wants to hear that he did a good job. It's kind of like, that is his selfish reason of why he wants to be the peacemaker. And we believe peace through strength. And that's exactly what it means, that we're not going to let any terrorist, to try to intimidate the United States of America. And I think we're doing the right thing. Now, some of the people might not have faith in God, or maybe, they are in some way fearful, which it's okay. It's okay to have fear. But you got to get courage. If you don't have fear, you'll never have courage. But if you want to be courageous, you got to stop with the fear. I am not fear-mongering anybody. I want you to know that. When this is done, watch what happens and then judge. You guys judge people as if we never learn anything from our justice system, right? Everybody's innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. President Trump, everybody's just hearsay. There's no proof of anything. There's allegations on everybody. Let's not forget that all of Congress, well, besides 50 or 67 people, but most of Congress voted not to release the information on the sexual harassment suits against Congress people. Most of them did. They signed against, they blocked it. And then ask yourself a question. Who is mad at Trump for exercising his executive power as the commander-in-chief and the president of the United States of America? I ask you guys to tell me, how can we fix the economy in your city or state? How do we make more money? Every Democrat that has come into my show to answer that question has told me, raise taxes on the people. Think about that. So I want you to call me and tell me how you will fix the economy in your city and state. Because let me tell you right now, the BS that President Trump is responsible for unaffordability, it's a lie. And I'll prove it to you if I become governor. I will prove it to you 100%. And we're going to do that by cutting taxes, by giving incentives to big corporations. But that's just my idea. I want you to call me and tell me how you can fix the economy in your state. And I don't want to hear we're the third, second, or first largest economic force in the whole United States of America. I want you to tell me how you will fix the economy. All right? All right, let's take a look. I don't know if it's the same person. Illinois, let's see. Hey, thanks for calling. Who's calling?
Yeah, hey, it's Galileo, man. I got cut off.
Hey, you got back. Okay, yeah, I know you got disconnected, but I already explained to everybody what I was trying to say. Unless you have another question.
Now I heard it. So you're looking for ways to create jobs.
Why you? Don't answer for them. That's not what I said. But yes, that is the answer, man. Okay, so let me take the calls. Okay, you're already on my point, anyways. You give me good info. Let me answer this call and let me see what they say. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, brother.
But I have.
Oh, sorry. Hello. Sorry, I touched the button after I said that. I was like, I think I just put somebody on hold. I don't know.
Yeah. No, but if you want to create jobs, that can help.
Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Thanks, brother. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
All right, you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Okay, who's calling? Thank you for calling, by the way.
Yeah, my name's D.
Steve or Dean?
D, just D.
D. Oh, okay, D. Yeah, go ahead. Not Des, is it?
This is Mr. Herrera's show.
Yeah, yes, sir. Okay, so how are you going to fix the economy in your city or state? How would you start doing that?
So I have a couple good ideas here. Just to start off on brass tacks, I would say my opinion, let's rebalance taxation.
Okay.
So taxes are really interesting. You don't necessarily have to have tax, but in some way, shape, or form, somebody's got to get paid in order to protect this nation.
Correct.
And our state and local government.
Yes.
So
I agree.
my idea is, can we rebalance the taxes towards home ownership as people, not companies, not LLCs, not property enterprise and corporations? Give the home ownership, give the people that work, that pay the other taxes. Let's face it, we get taxed inside and out as citizens here in this country. Can we get a little bit of a break, especially to the elderly, to start with that point, and then also reduce Social Security?
Well, no taxes. No taxes on Social Security, period.
I would say reduce it. Let's start easy and see how it works.
Well, Social Security is like the. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Right.
By the way,
Go ahead.
you Social Security. What I'm talking about is only for retirement, not just anybody on Social Security. But I got excited because I thought the area code was 425, but it's 254. Oh my gosh! Can you move to Washington? I just need you to be here for 6 months so you can vote, and I need you to be on my team.
Brother, man, I really appreciate that. Look, I'm a first-time watcher. I've watched you for about an hour or so, and
Talk
I've
a lot of
heard
shit.
about 3 or so callers. No, really, really good content. In fact, I wouldn't have wasted my time.
Oh, okay.
And
I appreciate you. Thank you.
The idea behind my thought processes, and I have about 4 more to go, is for those that have worked for decades, several decades, we've paid into the system on the whole Social Security side of things. If it's possible to kind of rebalance the tax issue, and then finally people can actually own their homes without having to pay through the nose on property tax, that would be an awesome change across the entire country.
Wow.
Another idea on local areas. Now, this is going to be up to the states, obviously, but I have an idea. What if we offset the recycling programs in our local areas with updated equipment? Yeah, it might cost an upfront charge, but ever since then, and that point on, we'll have modernized vehicles. Whenever, say, the truck comes and they pick up say you have a recycling bin and an actual trash bin. So you got a trash bin, you put pretty much anything in there, but the recycling bin, as long as you follow the rules.
Yeah, of course.
When that recycling bin is picked up, they read and they scan your number or code or however your local area does it.
Yeah.
It will weigh your bin, and when it dumps it, it'll have sensors, and it'll tell you how much you got in there, what the weight is, and then when you dump it, they take it off your water bill or your utilities.
Oh, no snap.
Right
Okay.
off the cuff. Right. So if say you guys had a huge party, everybody came over, you had I don't know, quinceañera, and you have a whole bin full of crushed cans. Why bag them up and fill the landfill with plastics,
right? Just put all do your normal. It will incentivize the homeowner or whomever to not just put it in the bin, but it would also reduce the plastics and the waste in order to transport and the fuel costs and the struggle to save it and transport. Go ahead and just put it in the bin, and then the truck automatically knows your number. Now, if you put some bad stuff in there, like a car battery, something like you're not supposed to, or oil, or bad things, then you're going to get a flag, and maybe you might actually get a ticket, and that's good because you're doing wrong. But my point is, there you go.
That's a good debatable for a budget question. But man, absolutely, I mean, I didn't even think about rebalancing taxes. Obviously, I'm not a tax expert, but I know how they work. But yeah, rebalancing, absolutely everything. As a matter of fact, I don't use that word, but one of the things that I'm pissed off now. I'm not a homeowner, just so you know. But one of the things that I get pissed off here is, even though I'm not a homeowner, I have to repeat that again. I am so against non-homeowners voting for property taxes. I am so against that. I don't. It just doesn't fit in my head. Let the homeowners vote on it. Here in Washington State, everybody has to vote for any taxes that have to be raised. And the Democrats have been in power here for so long. I'm sorry, they just happen to be Democrats. They have been here in power for so long. They have figured out how to do a lot of unconstitutional things. And when I mean unconstitutional, I mean Washington State Constitution unconstitutional things. I'm going to give you an example. For example, so they just passed a state income tax. This is a state that has never wanted nor has ever approved by the Washingtonian people to get a state income tax. None. So what does the government do? They don't put it out for a vote. They put it straight on the floor and let the majority of Democrats who rule the House here, right, go ahead and filibuster. They filibuster for, a few 22 days or whatever it was. And, of course, it's going to pass because the majority is Democrats. And then the judges that are going, because it has to go to the judicial part, and then the judges that judge on the bill to see if it's unconstitutional, well, they belong to the governor, Bob Ferguson, who is the governor here in Washington State. And he is the one that's been encouraging this bill himself, as if he is legislature. And, it's so unconstitutional, but they don't stop there. They have imposing...
The jury and the execution.
Absolutely, 100%. That's crazy, right? I would have never thought I would see that in my life. I thought it was just movies and Batman. But, the other thing they want to do, check this out. They want, here in Washington, I don't know any other state, but here in Washington, we vote for judges. We judge for sheriffs. We judge for a lot of things. And they want to be able to kick out any judge, any sheriff they want, and put whoever they believe is the person for the job. And the way that they are pushing over here, they're being so woke that the law-abiding citizens are the ones that get punished. For example, if Antifa hurts you, good luck. The police will not be there to back you up because they believe this whole joke of freedom of speech allows you, Antifa, to go out there and destroy the city as a demonstration of your peace. You know what? The law-abiding citizens have been paying the price for way too long, and that's the only reason why I'm going to run. But they're doing this unconstitutional things where the right is for the people to choose. This is a for the people state, and they have pushed away small farmers. They have pushed away so many small businesses because of violence in the neighborhood. They have cut down our police. This is what they do in Democrat City. You will know that this is the same playbook in Illinois, in Minnesota, in California, in Oregon, in every other Democratic state. This is what they contemplate every single time. And, the people are paying the price for it. And what is their solution? Their solution is not to cut NGOs that are useless to Americans here in Washington. They don't do cuts on that. They're wasting hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm not making this up. Hundreds of millions of dollars, get this, for laser hair removal for prisoners and breast implants because they support transgender rights. How crazy are we turning into? They have, get this, he had just signed, I don't know if it was an executive order, but he just signed a document that honors illegal immigrants because they're farmers, they're janitors, they're, I don't want to say slaves, but they don't get paid what they're supposed to. And
society, aren't we all?
I'm telling you, man, it is crazy. And people say lies. You know what? Shut the hell up. Like, how you gonna tell me that I'm lying when I'm living it? I'm seeing it. They go on public and they sign these papers out in the open. They allow illegal immigrants in the city council. They have made a representative in Congress an activist that was actually put in jail for going crazy on protest. She's in Congress, and she represents Washington State.
I didn't mean to call to raise your blood pressure.
Whew, man, I just took some medicine for the high blood pressure.
I have to admit, though, see, there's another thing right there. We could talk about universal health care, and it is potentially possible. And
it is.
Would be nice.
100%.
It's difficult, though, right? And one of the other points I wanted to make was another consideration of rebalancing the welfare system.
Oh, absolutely. Well, here's my side before you tell me. This could be erroneous. It could be wrong, but I'm going to tell you, I don't disagree with people being on welfare. It's all good. Like I want to be on welfare, but I also don't want to be broke and depending on the government. Let me tell you what I mean by welfare. There was a time where we had a hardship in our household with my wife. Because of $250, we didn't qualify. If you encourage people to not go to work, to be able to get food stamps, free health care, you know how it is. When you don't need it, you don't need it. But when you do have issues health-wise, it gets very expensive. And so
I wrote my notes down before I called. You're pretty much tooting the same horn I'm on. I was thinking, but I might actually got you on one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
One more thing. Good sir, is with the rebalancing welfare system, it isn't two sides. There's three sides.
Okay. Give it to me.
I'll try to explain it. In this case, it would be the mom or the dad or the government.
Okay.
Right? And so a lot of times people think of it because a lot of people don't have kids yet, and that's good.
Right.
Don't have kids until you're ready. But when you get kids, right, this is where it gets sticky for us because our tax-paying money, yourself, your viewers, myself, my family, we all have to pay into the same system that puts the money for child support, alimonies. Let's put the citizens first and look into the fraud. And another thing, this is a big one, probably even bigger than fraud. Well, it is fraud. Lifestyle generational welfare. What do you think about that?
That's a tough one, right? If you're on welfare, here's what I will kill that one. I feel raising the qualification bar will get rid of that. I really believe that. And if you are on welfare, I mean, I don't know what specifics will you think about that, because that can go south. You don't want to put too many restrictions on people.
It's not a restriction. It's an enforcement of ensuring that people are encouraged to work to receive.
Oh yeah, well I believe my way is 100% full time.
They can make way more money.
Yeah.
With finding these gaps in this job market that everyone's like, well, not everyone. For the common consensus is, well, the unemployment rate's been 7% for yada, whatever.
Yeah.
The bottom line is people have been sitting there on their keisters, and nobody's really trying to get up because they just collect a check.
Yeah.
Now, if you were incentivized to actually find a job, we'll go ahead and keep paying you.
Yeah.
And then when you actually get off your feet, but you are actually working, not only does it make the administrations in those areas and in the big picture not just look better, but actually strengthen the economy by having actual boots on the ground doing work.
Correct.
It will also reduce the government job requirements in the economies of those areas so that we don't have to pay government people to sit there in an office and process paperwork to make sure that, these folks coming in on, 20-inch dubs, right, so to speak. I'm not trying to make it sound stereotypical, but how many times do you see basically people that are really in need and they don't really receive the full benefit?
Yeah. Yeah, I see
You
it.
have a very unbalanced. See, that's what I'm saying. Rebalances for those that actually need those supports. I mean, and this goes even all the way to child support with those that the men are most of the time the men are getting burned by child support situations where the women don't even necessarily have a job, and that kind of burns the dude.
Yeah.
Because if he gets laid off and now he has to find another job,
Yep.
he is forced to, and it's a death sentence to him. He might actually be jailed, or
I think that the way that they collect child support is wrong. I think that they think that they're doing the right thing by saying, okay, how much is the expenses? How much do you make, and how much do you pay? And whoever puts the most things in their list is gonna get the most money. And like for example, a person that is that has to pay the child support, right? It doesn't matter if it's the man or the woman, but the person that has to pay the child support, when you allow for that child support to go above 30% of your income, I think that's ridiculous. I know people that get taxed up to 50% of their income, and they take those taxes.
Outrageous.
They take those taxes from the gross, and then they take the child support from your take-home money. And it puts many people in a homeless situation, and I've seen that too many times, and I experienced that myself at some point. And I look at single mothers that are out there at the club, drinking alcohol, and their hair did, etc.
Well taken care of. When you make 50% of somebody might be making really good bread.
Yeah.
The bottom line boils down to, this isn't something that should be a debate. It should be a common sense effort from elected officials that make sense, not bureaucratic people that have been on unlimited term limits for so long. I guess that's another good point. That ultimately, we're finding ourselves falling into the rich get richer, and we're cooking. We're cooking on the pan and willing to flop into the fire in order to defend the future. And hopefully things get better. And the last thing I had on my mind, and this is probably not really a good one, I was thinking about, and I guess this definitely won't work in most people's situation, for those who do own land, however much it is, mineral rights from a federal perspective.
Interesting.
Get off of the mineral rights. That is a very valuable commodity that those folks who claim stake to the land, paid the land off, shouldn't have to be paying more taxes every year after it's paid.
Correct.
Notice paid. This is my place. If I fail to keep it up, or I die and have nobody else, hey, different story. However, life goes on.
Yeah.
Now, for the federal to be like, well, we own what's underneath your land. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know I signed up for that, right?
Yeah.
Hypothetically. I mean, that's another thing. I think that the mineral rights on properties would be in better interests of the citizens for their personal equity and the burden of the estate, not for more federal oversight and ownership, and putting more people in office in the federal side of things or the local government side of things
Yeah.
to try to find a way to screw them out of their homes.
Yeah, I thought you automatically had that. To be honest, I thought that was how it works. You got the rights, just like you get the airware rights.
No.
Interesting.
Federal.
Well, you know, the whole rebalancing taxes, it just goes a long way, because here in Washington, you have to know. I don't know your state, but here in Washington, so we have property tax that just got increased up to 9%. We had an income tax added to, they call it the millionaire tax, right? Which is 10%. Eventually, we'll go under $1 million. So it's going to screw up a lot of middle class and small business owners. So that increases the rent price as well for property owners. They also have, if you buy a house, you pay taxes on it. If you give it to your kids, they have to pay taxes on the value of the house at that time. Again, if you die and you leave your kids money, it's called inheritance money. Even though you pay taxes on that dollar, you have to pay taxes on that. If you die, you got to pay taxes on your death. If you, yeah,
my language, but that's not right.
That's a bit.
I mean, you cannot be taxed so many times and so many times. What is there to live?
Wait, I'm not done. If you own, I'm not done. If you own a yacht, you have a tax for that, because it's your luxury tax. It's like this guy's not playing Monopoly. I kid you not. I feel like I'm playing Monopoly. And I mean, it is.
The way I would rebalance things, the way I would try to fix the tax issue is by rebalancing it towards the homeowners and those just like yourself, that if you haven't owned a home yet, you will be incentivized to own a home.
Yeah, well, it was like that before. Yeah, it was like that before. All I got to do is reverse it to where it was.
It makes it more lucrative for the other side of the parties, other than the conservative and right sides. It makes it more lucrative for them because they understand we're weak, because we don't have a chance to own anything in this country at all. You can't.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be taxed through the wazoo, and it will eventually come back to them some way, shape, or scandal. And that's just the way it works in this country today. So rebalancing things would be great. But, you know, it's kind of a pipe dream on my call for you tonight. And I'm not trying to keep you up all night, but I figured I'd throw my 2 cents.
You're good? No, man. Absolutely. I want people to live here in Washington to that want to make a change in this state. I need people. I need to meet these people so that we can see if our values align, if we have the same mentality, if we have similar ideas that we can actually debate to make each other better and to come up with a better bill or a better way to do things. It was never meant for one party to be the majority, and that's how things work. It was meant for the best of the best to get together to argue and debate for the best result. The competition was who can better serve the people. Now it's the opposite. Who can get richer off the people? You know, and I know I'm running for governor, but let me tell you something. I will probably renounce to the race that they're giving, because I believe is that the pricing, I think the salary is about $200,000, $212,000, I think. And I think somewhere in this summer, I think is going to $234,000. So they're getting like a $20,000 to $24,000 raise. And meanwhile, the people are over here crying, bitching, and complaining about affordability, and they're not accountable for it. And their one answer is, F Trump. And everybody shuts up. That's just how it is. They just mention Trump, and that's how they quiet the people. And this is what I always tell people, man. It's like, listen, if you come into my channel, if you come in hating President Trump, we are never gonna find a common ground. If you see how you didn't mention Trump at all in the conversation, right? You went straight to the nitty-gritty. You went straight to the point. That's what I want people to do. Get into the issue. Stop telling me that you hate Trump or you're a leftist. You didn't tell me you're a leftist or a conservative. You just give me a solution. You know, all you
That's
can do
actually
is
a
give me
really
the
good
solution.
point. You know, you ask a pointed question to your audience, and you know, you're not the only show that I now and then I scroll through, and today was the first, or this evening is the first time that I've caught your channel, and you know what? I like what you're talking about. I think it makes sense. I generally don't call my own and say, you know, I'm not going to sit there and, you know, we're not going to have a circle jerk about Trump.
Yeah.
The bottom line is you had good questions, right? How can we fix things?
Yeah.
That's important because before you have the ammunition, and maybe I learned something, maybe our viewers here tonight might actually take into consideration there are answers to this stuff. It's just more than 9 times out of 10. I hear on these other political view channels, lots of people are calling in, and they're just absolutely unprepared for anything.
Yeah.
Answer the doggone question.
Yeah.
Right? Just answer the question. Why do you still support Trump? Right? That's a great question.
Yeah. Sure.
I'm not even prepared to answer that question. You know why? Because I really don't have something that has a sharp enough blade to cut through the manipulation that they're going to turn it into when you start to even answer it.
Yeah. Well, you know, and
therefore,
people question me. You know, obviously I got my MAGA hat on and I support Trump, but they think that everybody's not prepared all the time, and it's just like when I give them my responses, they just say liar, liar, liar. You're lying. Okay, listen, if you don't want me to answer it, just don't ask me the question. But you asked me why I support Trump, and I said, well, I voted for him because he was going to secure the border. He did it. I voted for him because he said we're going to keep men out of women's sports. Well, he's doing it. He did it. You know, I say, you know what? He's going to put America first. He's doing it. I know how America first looks. And America first doesn't mean that he's going to go into our streets, right? Number one, the Democrats won't let them. Don't let him do it. And so he's not going to go and fix all the violence and crime in all of our states. That's the governor's responsibility. That's the mayor's responsibility. That's why you have counties. This is why you have cities. This is why you got city councils. Sit down, talk together. What's going on? What can we do? What do we need? You know, and they blame Trump for everything. So, you know, they just don't get it. So if I said, okay, you know what? I support President Trump because I believe that he is the only one that can stand up against Putin. Listen to this. You can say anything you want about President and talking about Putin, but I'm going to tell you, he's nobody's dummy. He's not going to tell you, hey, listen, that piece of crap Putin. He's not going to tell you that. He's going to tell you, I have a great relationship with him. Even if he's having a big, hardest time fighting with him, he will tell you, no, we have a great relationship. But he will throw a little side, you know, a little curveball and try to bring it back so that you understand why he's doing that. You know what he was doing with Venezuela? I get it. I know exactly what he's doing, you know, and I'm for it. You know, people judges about, you know, Cuba, right? We want a Cuban, which you know who that is Marco Rubio. That is the descendancy of Cuba, you know, and a descendant of Cuba. And I think that he cares for the people and that he will do a great job helping the Cuban community. And, you know, just people, when they have lack of information is what makes it hard. You know, I wanted Iran's nuclear facility to be bombed. President Trump didn't hesitate. He went and took care of it. He said, okay, we've been talking. I've been warning. Okay, done. Everybody thinks that he doesn't keep his word. Listen, when I tell my kids, listen, you know what? I'm going to buy you a bike. I didn't say when. If I know when, I will tell you when. But I'm going to say, I'm going to buy you a bike. Okay? The moment that I get paid, I am going to be buying you a bike. Okay, as soon as I get paid, I better complete that. Right? But the thing is, you know what, son? I told you, I know. I was going to buy you a bike on my pay. But you know what? Here, let me show you. I talk to my kids like they're adults. I need this money for here and here. I'm just not going to be able to buy you that bike. You know what my kids tell me? Daddy, I really want a bike, but I understand. I love you. What? So I understand that
You know
part.
what, Daddy, what can I do? Maybe I can help you out around the house, and that'll free up your time.
I'm going to tell you this. This is honest truth.
That's my boy, right? That's
Exactly.
my kid right here.
Listen, I did this one time. Well, this happened one time. I told my boy, okay, listen, I know you need, this money, right? Well, he wants it. He don't need it, but he wants this money. He wanted $20. This is a true story, and I'm amazed by him. And I said, okay, I'll get you $20. And then he hears me talking with my wife and, about finances. And he goes to school. He comes back, and then one day he comes in, hey, Dad, remember those $20 you gave me? Yeah, I decided to save them. Why don't you use them and see if we can help you with paying bills? Brother, I almost cried internally. Obviously, I was crying. But I almost cried when I heard him say that. I was like, wow, that's what you need.
Me too.
You know,
I know what you mean. And see, that's the difference between the difference between good and evil. We are raising the right kind of people here.
That's right.
And I feel the same way, and I've had the same experience. The first thing that crossed my mind is, wow, bless him, bless this young man.
Right.
Right. Or
Yeah,
boy,
absolutely.
basically still, and
Yeah.
and the way that comes back so full force is no. You hold on to that and you keep saving. It's important
Yeah.
to save. Work hard. Save that money.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Don't go out there and waste it on impulse stuff, immaterial things. Right.
Yeah.
That's good. And this is hard to kind of develop when you have so much technology and you got there's a book out there by there's a doctor something, Dr. Money something or whatever. This author sells a book called, check it out, it's actually really funny. My Mom Only Sells Fans. Check it out. You'll
All right.
thank me later.
If I remember, I'll go ahead and look it up. I'm gonna let you go, but I want you to hear this before you go. The reason why I think the way I think, I have worked. I'm almost a half a century old. I'm so proud that I'm gonna make 50. I hope that God allows me to make 50. In a few months, it's gonna be my birthday. I'm gonna be 50 years old, and I have learned so much from so many different jobs in so many different areas. And one of the things that I have learned in corporation and companies, it's, and I will give credit to Comcast for this because this is the time that I learned it in some of our leadership courses. Never blame your coworkers. Always take responsibility. If your coworker made a mistake, you always say, I apologize, we messed up. And I'm going to tell you, this teaching, till this day, this is why I talk the way I talk. When people say Trump, I'm like, okay, well, what about Trump? Well, the tariffs. The tariff is a tax, unconstitutional. Well, we've had tariffs all along. Why are you bitching about it now? Tariffs is an importing fee. This is a little bit of a punishment for people that don't want to have jobs here in America. Okay, so we get past that point. I want to know the people that complain about tariffs, which they say it's a tax. Okay, let's call it a tax. I just told you how many taxes we have in Washington State, and they love it. The same Democrats, they love this taxing system, and I don't. So on the same boat of a corporation, of a company, I've learned that I'm going to be responsible for my team. I'm the supervisor. I'm going to be responsible for my team. And I'm going to make my manager look good. You know why? Because my manager is going to be praising me. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be praising my team. And I'm going to be bragging about it. And so it doesn't matter what position I have held. I have been manager. I've been supervisor. I have been a lead. I have been regular worker. And every single time, my mentality was, this is my job. I'm responsible for it. Is there something else I can help with? Because I got time to kill. All right, I'm going to do that as well. But the Democrats, I'm sorry, but this is just, I don't even know how to call them. Let's just say the Americans who keep supporting these blue people in power, they don't think that way. They get so convinced and they get into this mentality of hating so much on this one guy, the orange Cheeto guy, that they don't think for themselves. It's like, wait, what? Well, if the governor, no, let's go to the bottom. If the city councils complain about the mayor, Why shouldn't the mayor complain about the governor? But if the governor complains about the president, shouldn't the people complain about the governor and the mayor and the city council? You want to play the blame game, you got to take responsibility for your position. I always say this with law enforcement. You know, if law enforcement are doing a power trip and they're not respecting the rights of the people, they should be punished. They should be, corrected, disciplined. But if an American thinks that they have their freedom of speech and they go out there and start throwing rocks at the police, that's not, no, you should be in jail. That's how I feel about things.
Your show is awesome. The way that you convey these thoughts is why you're on the up and up. And I wish you the best for your running for anywhere, because I'd vote for you if I was in your local state and government. And see, the idea that I was trying to bring into the table was about rebalancing some of the basics.
I'm sold on that. You got me. I love it.
That's the way I could maybe say it, especially with the home ownership idea.
100. Yep.
Not everybody's there. However, when you own it, you own it. The federal government does not take property off of your home anymore. Now, and I say this carefully, consider taking taxes only on the land, but watch out for those mineral rights too.
Yeah.
And so when you own your house, you own your house. I don't care if you're 98 years old. You should not have to pay taxes. Once you pay that house off, if I gave my son my house,
yeah,
period.
Yeah.
That's it. I might have to pay a tax. Okay, fine. I'll pay that one tax. Or he'll pay that tax. I'll pay it for him. Whatever it takes.
All right.
He owns the house. He never pays a tax on that house anymore.
Yeah.
Sure. A little bit of land tax. Let's ease into it. I think that would be a good move to help.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you have to remember.
The government will still take the money, but they're not going to eat us alive.
Correct. You have to remember this. The only reason, I don't know who can remember this, but the only reason why homeowners, property owners, had to pay taxes, it was because in this time when they started doing this property tax thing, if they had to get paving, if they had to do any utility digging and all this other stuff, the tax that gets collected is supposed to cover those things. But now we have a sales tax, and that sales tax for every single thing that we buy, anything, services, products, etc., they have a tax. With that tax, this one out of 17% of your tax income that you get, 14%, depend on the bracket. I get taxed 14%. If you get 14% of your taxes, yeah, exactly. If you get 14% tax on your income, okay. So, all right, where is this money going? Well, it's going to go, a little bit's going to the fire department, it's going to the police, it's going to infrastructure, it's going to hospitals and, whatever, right? I know where it's going. Fantastic. This is why I work. This is why we pay taxes, etc. But that's not how it works anymore. They have blown away the budget.
Instituted mandatory insurance. Now you have to have home insurance.
Yep, home insurance, renter's insurance.
It's supposed to cover the same things that you just covered, all of it. But then you know what happens? You have a pipe break in your house. Oh,
yeah.
No. Not only does your taxes not cover it, but nor does your insurance because, that wasn't something that's covered under this clause of
yeah.
22 Mark B.
I would get rid of that crap.
It's a scam.
Yeah, you have to. You have to get rid of that. You have to fight it. I do believe that we have so much work to do. Man, there's so much work to do.
How do we tell this? How do we explain this to our
It's
viewers?
not enough time. We just don't have enough time to explain all the little details of why we think the way we think. All I know is that, if we have somebody in control, if somebody goes into government and they are poor class, okay, they will know the burdens that comes with being a worker. See, everybody campaigns on the rich, tax the rich, and help the middle class. Nobody gives a shit about the poor class. Nobody.
Now, let's say you get elected, and all of a sudden, in 2 or 3 years, you're worth $30 million. I'm going to be very disappointed in you, sir.
They can't buy me.
There ain't no way.
Yeah, they can't buy me.
Here we go.
Yeah, they can't buy me.
That's all I want to hear.
Yeah.
As a voter, hypothetically.
You know what, brother? I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you.
I got bad respect for your words and your ideals, and that's why I wanted to call in tonight. I'll give it back.
Thank you.
This is your channel.
I appreciate it. You're a breath of fresh air. I'm gonna tell you a testimony. This is 100% factual. I don't care what people. I don't know how it sounds to you, but this is true. I was a missionary pastor for 5 years. I didn't curse. I didn't do a lot of things that I do today. I'm more of a what would you call a guy that just got released out of jail? I don't have the breaks that I had before. Okay, let's just say that. But I went in here because I wanted to help people, and I went to Yakima. Yakima is a city towards the eastern Washington, and there was this church, and I didn't get a salary. But they let me stay into this house. This house was a 2-story house. It had 2 bedrooms upstairs, but I couldn't use it because the windows were broke. And in the winter, all the cold and the leaves, everything will come into the house. I had to patch it with some plastic and whatnot. The floor, I think the foundation was falling apart because we had like little waves, like up and downs in the floor in the house, like the house was going to fall apart. With very old house, there was splinters and all kinds of sticky things on the grass in the front. And we went in there. We painted the house inside. We used to sleep on the floor with my wife and my children. We had 2 kids. And so we slept downstairs. And, the church, we wanted to feed the people. And there was no money coming in. The offerings were barely enough to give to the church, to the pastor that was letting us use the temple. And so I got a full-time job. I worked for a company called Time Warner Cable in Yakima.
Yeah.
And
I loved back in the day.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Yeah, well, it's very violent now. But, I gave 80% of my check to be able to feed these people because at home, I buy the food and I can have some of that food, right? But we went and we fed the people. And sometimes it wasn't enough. Something had to get fixed or we wanted to decorate. Sometimes I will ask my wife and she will always say yes. She has a big heart. And we used 100% of the money that I was making at Time Warner. And people don't believe me when I tell them this story, but it's the truth. And it's just like my wife and I can tell you, we are, if my wife was rich, please, she will go and buy herself a bunch of stuff. There is no doubt, But when it comes to us giving food or clothing to somebody else instead of being rich, absolutely, 100%. We just need a roof over our head. As long as my kids got food, you can wear a $10,000 suit. I'll go and get my 3-for-1 deal. It'd be a nice suit, but I'm not paying no $10,000, not even $1,000. I go and I see a suit for $500. Well, you got something for like $100, And it's not because I don't have the money. I just don't feel like it's no different. Like I don't. The luxury things just doesn't. I don't know. Like people look at my car. Oh man, that's a nice car. This old thing, it's no big deal. I can roll in any car, and I'll tell you right now, everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of the people that are members of my channel, they know, if we run the campaign, nothing happens. I'm going to concentrate on what I decided to do with this channel once it grew, and that was become a sort of a charity, and I don't know, I have a place where I want to do it. But if we can do something, can you imagine if we can do something to maybe once a month, we collect enough money, because I don't want to be rich. I want to make a salary where I can pay all my bills and be able to take my wife out to eat at least twice a month. That's it.
I certainly hope it's not going to be the quality clearing center of Washington State.
Definitely not. I think it's going to be more of an open, maybe indoors. We'll get an indoor. But the whole idea is just to feed people. I don't care who comes. Just let them eat. We want hot dogs, burgers, the whole American thing.
I share the same American dream. I'd like to help out my brethren, too. I never really wanted to matter of fact, I had a hard time taking money from people when I help them and I do what's right. It's just me. It's just my social compass and my spiritual compass. Hey, it's so bad in a good way that I don't even want to talk about money. It's more about just what's the right thing to do. So I'll call in to you tonight. And I think that's the best way I could settle that, because I know that you have other callers. And,
nah, you finished me on a good note. I appreciate it.
I'll give it back to you and your mic. And, you know, it's always, it's a little bit of an effervescence for me to be able to speak my mind in a relatively open but anonymous way. And,
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm here for.
I don't have any ill will to the people that come over the border or the people that are here now and all of the things that you see on the streets, propaganda and the news and the bombings and the, you know, at the end of the day, it's not here on our turf, and I'll be very hard pressed.
Well,
where you know that gets any better for us either, right?
Yeah. Well, just so you know, a disclaimer: you're gonna hear a lot of foul language from me on my show, and I do get very passionate. So sometimes it can be annoying. You can skip the video that time. But I get you have no idea how much. Well, I'm sure you do. How much negativity comes through my channel since day one, my friend. Since day one. And all because
you're gonna get a lot of trash.
Oh my, it's overwhelming. But you know what?
You can hang up on them. It's your channel.
Yeah, but I have a lot of blues and greens, and even those who are not blues and greens, that they're always very supportive. They get rid of negativity, garbage on the chat, and sometimes I tell them not to. Depends on what we're doing. There's a purpose to why I do what I do. So, man, thank you for the breath of fresh air. Man, I really want people to call me in, man, and just give me those ideas. I'm sold from the first comment you made. That was it.
There you go. So
Thank
I
you.
like the way you said that, and I'll leave it off with this.
Yes, sir.
Red, blues, and greens. Those are what consists of the pixels that we see on our high-definition TVs.
That is true. That is the three universal colors that will make all the colors in the world.
And we can all unite. Isn't that the point?
Amen to that.
Jesus' name.
Yes, sir. Have a good night. Take it easy.
God bless you, man.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ah, man, why can't everybody just give me that kind of call? Nobody wants to. Oh, I see. Oh, man, absolutely. As a matter of fact, let me text this real quick. All right, so I want to meet more people here, Washingtonian people, that want to get their hands dirty. Give me suggestions, as my good friend did here on this live. Man, wow, what a breath of fresh air. That is unbelievable. I think that, to me, tonight, that was a blessing. That was a blessing. And I'm going to say this. I really, really want to feed the hungry, but I don't want to enable laziness. So this whole thing about welfare, free healthcare, believe me, there is a plan that I have for it. But I can't say everything, not until I'm running for governor, because we don't want these guys to stay in power. We need to get them out. We need to make the change and make it permanent. And let's hope, with God's will, with God's help, that we make it permanent for the well-being of all Washingtonians, and let it trickle down like a domino effect down to Oregon and even California. Those of you who support me that are in other states, I will definitely support the right candidates for your states. And that's a promise. I will support them. I will sponsor if I need to. But absolutely, I will definitely get my hands dirty. Big shout out to our future governor in Arizona, Bill. Big Bill. I send you a big hug, my friend. Hope you're being blessed. Rush Bank, Robert, Brian, everybody else in here. Who else do I have in here? Where is Jason? Jason's still here. Jason, thank you all for being here. God bless you, every single one of you. God bless your family, and God bless the USA. I'll see you on the next one. Have a good night. Happy Friday tomorrow.